Chapter 13-18. Sometimes an item is worth a treasure. You have to figure it out yourself. Night Sorrow refused without hesitation. The world was a dog-eat-dog world. No one in the heaven and earth pavilion knew each other. Everyone was his opponent, so he had to be careful. The thing that I want is a resource for my cultivation. As for the rest, I won't take a single thing. If you agree to cooperate, I can swear to the heavens that I won't make you my enemy on this level. Otherwise, I'll be killed by the heaven and earth pavilion, the white-robed woman said. What treasure? How difficult is it? Night Sorrow asked after hearing that the woman was willing to swear to the heavenly Tao. Since it was a treasure, Night Sorrow also wanted to take a look. Perhaps there would be a path to enlightenment in this strange place. Afterward, the woman in white told Night Sorrow that it was the eye of an energy storm. There were many skeletons around and there were storage rings on the skeletons. What she needed was a rootless plant. The rootless plant grew not far from the eye of the energy storm, but there were evil spirits guarding it. She was repelled when she went there, but she didn't die because she relied on a secret technique. Night Sorrow knew what the eye of the energy storm was. It was a whirlpool formed by extremely dense energy. The center of the whirlpool was called the eye of the energy storm. Because of the density of the energy, it would produce some natural treasures. What kind of evil spirits are they? Night Sorrow asked. They are humans. They don't have any aura of life. It is very likely that they are cultivators who died in the past. Their intelligence was extinguished because of the special environment. They can use battle techniques, the woman in white said. Then the woman explained the situation in detail. Her name was Hai Ling. She was a cultivator from the Black-Yellow Great World and a member of the Black-Yellow City's Great Elder Hai family. She saw two evil spirits, both of which were evil monarchs. They could use battle techniques, and their battle strength was very strong. Night Sorrow pondered for a moment before saying, if it's two evil spirit overlords, we can still kill them. The question is it worth it? It's worth it. There are a lot of rootless trees around the eye of the storm. I only need one that is more than 10,000 years old. If you can get it, the rest will be yours. Besides, those skeletons have storage rings, so it's impossible that they don't have treasures. There's an evil spirit among them. I suspect that it's Yuan Daoren. Yuan Daoren is one of the earliest cultivators in the world of samsara. Although he's not a giant yet, he's very famous. Human sovereign. I don't know about the human sovereign. Tell me more about it, Night Sorrow said. Sizing up Night Sorrow, Hai Ling was a little stunned. As a senior cultivator, there were too few people who didn't know about the human sovereign realm. However, in order to cooperate with Night Sorrow, she told him everything. The human sovereign realm was a giant, and one of the best among the giants. The only one who could contend with him was the Blood Blade Lord. Many years ago, after the two fought for the heavenly artifact, their whereabouts were unknown. The human sovereign is a human, the most outstanding cultivator of the human race. That's why he's called the human sovereign realm. He's the first giant of the human race and also the strongest. The Blood Blade Lord is a monster. I don't know what race he is, but the two secret techniques are very domineering. For example, the human sovereign realm cultivates both chi and body. Even if he stands there without moving, the king can't hurt him. The Blood Blade Lord has the heavenly artifact, Blood Blade, so he's qualified to compete with the human sovereign realm, Hai Ling explained to Night Sorrow. After listening to Hai Ling's explanation, Night Sorrow realized how outstanding the human sovereign realm was. His followers were naturally not simple. Perhaps they had the human sovereign's secret techniques. Then let's give it a try. If there's a chance, we'll go and collect it. If there's no chance, then there's nothing we can do, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow's words were equivalent to his agreement. Hai Ling opened her mouth and repeated the heavenly Tao oath. The reason he agreed was because Night Sorrow thought it was an opportunity. The area around the eye of the storm energy was rich with spiritual treasures of heaven and earth. Hai Ling only saw the rootless and she didn't detect anything else. The rootless was already a supreme treasure. It could make the cultivator's meridians and dantian flexible and tough. It could be used to refine the best king elixir. The soft jade muscle elixir was an extremely rare material. Most importantly, the elixir could solve some problems with the meridians and dantian. Night Sorrow thought it might be of some help to the Qing Emperor. After reaching an agreement, Night Sorrow and Hai Ling flew towards the eye of the energy storm. After flying for half a day, Hai Ling told Night Sorrow that they would reach the eye of the storm energy after another 10,000 miles. Night Sorrow stopped and set up a teleportation array. What are you doing? Hai Ling looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow glanced at Hai Ling. Night Sorrow didn't say anything. Then he set up an illusion array to hide the teleportation array. This is a teleportation array disk. It can be used to teleport without interference. Teleport here. If there's danger, it's up to you whether or not it can save your life. Night Sorrow took out a teleportation array disk and embedded it in the teleportation crystal in front of them. Then he threw it to Hai Ling. They didn't know each other before and they didn't have any friendship. But Night Sorrow felt that since they were already teammates, if it could save her life, he should help her. Hai Ling nodded. Now she understood the purpose of the teleportation array in front of her. Head, hair, then the two flew towards the eye of the storm energy. Can you hold off an evil spirit? Night Sorrow asked as they flew. There's no way I can defeat it. At most, I can hold it off for a while. It's mainly up to you, Hai Ling said. Night Sorrow stared at Hai Ling. This was a bit of a trap. She couldn't even hold off one evil spirit. Aren't you strong? I called you here to see if you can do it. I only want one rootless. That's the price for giving you the information, Hai Ling said. Night Sorrow didn't say anything. He felt that if there were more rootless and other resources near the eye of the energy storm, it wouldn't be too much for Hai Ling to ask for one rootless for one piece of information. Rootless was a natural treasure. It was an alchemy material that grew in energy. Without a root, it would grow by absorbing special energy. After flying for a while, the two of them arrived at the area where the eye of the storm was located. From far away, Night Sorrow could already see the wonder of heaven and earth. It was an energy vortex that stood between the sky and the earth. Thick energy rippled in all directions. It's here, Hai Ling said. Actually, Night Sorrow didn't need Hai Ling to say it. He knew that this was the eye of the energy storm. We'll talk about it after we deal with the evil spirits. I hope you can hold on. Night Sorrow said and flew forward. As soon as the two got close to the eye of the storm energy, two figures flew out. Evil spirits. Night Sorrow could tell that the two people who rushed out were evil spirits, not cultivators. As the name suggested, evil spirits were evil spirits. The eyes of the two people who rushed out were no longer human. They exuded a strong evil aura. The one in the black robe, you come. Hai Ling shouted at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow knew that the one in the black robe should be the Emperor's follower, Yuan Daoist, that Hai Ling mentioned. He should be the stronger of the two evil spirits. Chapter 13-19. There was no other way. This time Night Sorrow was the main target, so he had to bite this hard bone. If Hai Ling could bite it, she wouldn't have told him the news. Just as Hai Ling finished shouting, the two evil spirits also rushed forward. The energy on Night Sorrow's body fluctuated, and his clone appeared. The clone and the main body charged towards Yuan Daoist together. The other evil spirit's target was Hai Ling. Night Sorrow's reincarnation and the long sword in Yuan Daoist's hand collided. Then the energy burst out and collided. Night Sorrow's body was pushed back a few feet, and Yuan Daoist also retreated a few feet. Night Sorrow's heart trembled. This was the first time he was pushed back in a head-on fight. It was enough to see how tyrannical this evil spirit Yuan Daoist was. Night Sorrow's body flashed and once again fought with evil spirit Yuan Daoist. Yuan Daoist was not afraid of the recoil at all, and he was directly on top after being pushed back. Night Sorrow's two clones fought together to stabilize the situation and have time to observe Yuan Daoist. Evil spirit Yuan Daoist's body was full of evil energy. His dantian, tendons and bones were all black. Night Sorrow felt that this was because some kind of energy had invaded and then caused a mutation. Night Sorrow fought while studying Yuan Daoist's shortcomings. Evil spirit Yuan Daoist's attack was extremely tyrannical, and his speed was fast. He was not easy to kill. While Night Sorrow was thinking, there was a cry of pain from the side. Hai Ling was seriously injured. Her left shoulder was slashed by the other evil spirit. Although she managed to block the attack with her scimitar, the slash still cut into her shoulder. If she hadn't blocked it in time, she would have been dismembered by the slash. The evil spirit's attack was not over. The evil spirit then kicked Hai Ling's dantian, sending her body flying. Tell my family for me that walking on the path of the strong is my dream. I have no regrets even if I fall. I have let them down. Hai Ling, who was kicked away, shouted. Idiot, go. Night Sorrow threw out a trap and kill array disc, trapping the evil spirit that wanted to catch up with Hai Ling and kill her. At the same time he shouted. He couldn't watch his teammates die and do nothing, even if they were temporary teammates. At this time Hai Ling's dantian had been severely damaged, so she no longer had the ability to fight. However, she was still able to activate the array disc. She looked at Night Sorrow with a strange expression on her face as she was taken away by the transmission array disc. Seeing Hai Ling leave, Night Sorrow ate a lustrous golden pill and released the soul-extinguishing poison smoke. He knew that he would be in a predicament soon. Wanting to kill an evil Yuan Dao child in a frontal attack would be very difficult. Once that evil spirit broke through the death trap array disc, the pressure would increase. So he had no choice but to use poison. After using the poison, Night Sorrow used Afterimage Body. He had to seize the opportunity to kill them. He had to defeat them one by one. He couldn't let the two evil spirits work together. At this time, Night Sorrow's main body and doppelganger were covered with lustrous golden light. The Afterimage Body was also covered with lustrous golden light. Because the Afterimage Body was condensed from Night Sorrow's energy, it had the medicinal properties of the lustrous golden pill. Night Sorrow was looking for an opportunity. After evil Yuan Dao child crazily attacked a few times, his condition suddenly declined. He was poisoned. Night Sorrow knew that evil Yuan Dao child was poisoned. It didn't matter if you were a human cultivator, an undead, or a demon beast. As long as you had spirit C in consciousness, you would be affected. As soon as evil Yuan Dao child was affected by the poison, Night Sorrow's doppelganger and main body rushed towards him. The doppelganger directly attacked with Death Annihilation Slash. The Death Annihilation Slash brought out a black halo that wrapped around evil Yuan Dao child. Night Sorrow's doppelganger then pierced through his chest, blasting a big hole in his chest. Night Sorrow wanted to attack the head, but evil Yuan Dao child's long sword blocked there. Great Emperor Reincarnation Slash. Night Sorrow's main body roared. He waved his Reincarnation Slash and once again used his lost skill. The purple halo wrapped around evil Yuan Dao child, and Night Sorrow's Reincarnation Slash went out. After shaking off evil Yuan Dao child's long sword, Night Sorrow's Reincarnation Slash pierced through his forehead, shattering his spirit C. Then he turned around and blocked behind him. Because the other evil spirit that had broken through the trap and kill array had blasted a blade towards his back. With a muffled sound, Night Sorrow was sent flying. He had just used the Great Emperor Reincarnation Slash and was in a weakened state. After being sent flying, Night Sorrow spat out a mouthful of blood. Because the other party's strength was very strong. At this time, Night Sorrow's doppelganger blocked the evil spirit, giving his main body a chance to recover. After circulating the energy in his body and healing his injuries, Night Sorrow's main body once again rushed out and fought the remaining evil spirit with his doppelganger. Fortunately, Night Sorrow's doppelganger was still in peak condition. In addition, the soul-extinguishing poison smoke also had an effect on this evil spirit. After fighting for 15 minutes, Night Sorrow finally killed this evil spirit. After putting away the storage rings and weapons of the two evil spirits, Night Sorrow ate a healing pill and approached the eye of the energy storm. There were many skeletons around the eye of the storm. Their condition was a little worse than the two evil spirits that Night Sorrow had killed. After looking at them, Night Sorrow understood that after some time, these skeletons would also become evil spirits. This was because there was some evil energy within the energy vortex. At this time, Night Sorrow felt that something was wrong. His head was a little heavy, and the light emitted by his lustrous golden core was also suppressed. Night Sorrow, who had stimulated the 9 regions' origin power to protect his divine C, looked into the energy vortex. He discovered that there was a skeleton-like stone inside the energy vortex that was emitting an evil aura. Night Sorrow understood that this evil stone was emitting an evil energy that attacked the soul. Without realizing it, one's soul would be corroded. Night Sorrow understood that he couldn't stay in this place for too long. Even if there were no evil spirits here, it was still very dangerous. The evil spirit was also an expert when it was alive. It was only because it was careless that it fell here. After putting away the storage rings on the skeletons, Night Sorrow looked at the rootless plants growing in the energy vortex. Rootless plants were top-quality alchemy materials. They could be used to refine the soft jade tendon pill that could change one's physique. At this time, several rootless plants were growing in the pure energy of the eye of the energy storm. Night Sorrow's body flashed and put the 6 or 7 plants into the space in the dragon cauldron, allowing the dragon cauldron to nourish them with energy. After looking again and confirming that he hadn't missed anything, Night Sorrow left in a flash. There was nothing else to discover here. The evil stone was a strange stone, but it was meaningless to him. On the other hand, he couldn't touch that thing as it didn't bring him any benefits. After leaving the vicinity of the Eye of the Storm, Night Sorrow meditated to recover. Then he took out the teleportation array disc and teleported to the teleportation array he had set up. At this time Hai Ling was healing in the illusion array. She had been slashed and evil energy had entered her body. Her injuries were very serious. The most serious was that her dantian had been kicked by the evil spirit, causing her to lose her combat strength. You came back too. There's nothing I can do about it. Those two evil spirits are too strong. It's useless even if you can withstand Taoist Yuan. I can't withstand the other evil spirit. It seems that I'm not fated to be able to change my dantian and meridians. Hai Ling sighed. What do you plan to do after you get the rootless plant? Night Sorrow asked. I'll eat it directly and strengthen my dantian and meridians. It's meaningless to talk about it now. Hai Ling was very disinterested. Chapter 1320. It's too wasteful to eat it directly. You just want to change your dantian and meridians? I can refine the soft jade tendon pill. It's not a loss for you, Night Sorrow said as he took out the alchemy furnace. Update #soonest Night Sorrow planned to use his clone to refine the pill. His main body needed to heal and protect his clone. Seeing Night Sorrow take out the rootless pill, Hai Ling's eyes were filled with disbelief. She had been severely injured in the beginning. She felt that Night Sorrow alone would not be able to fight against two monarch-rank evil spirits. However, Hai Ling soon understood that Night Sorrow had a trump card that she did not know about. Otherwise he would not have succeeded. Night Sorrow took out the highest grade of rootless grass and began to prepare. Fortunately, he had all kinds of supplementary materials in his collection over the years. Night Sorrow used 6 days to refine the soft jade tendon pill. The moment the pill was out of the furnace, the sky cracked and lightning appeared. Night Sorrow knew that this was a pill tribulation. Night Sorrow opened the alchemy furnace. Then, more than 10 spinning pills appeared in the sky to be baptized by the lightning tribulation. After 15 minutes, the sky closed and 15 soft jade tendon pills with lightning patterns floated in the sky. Night Sorrow waved his arm and kept the pills in the jade bottle. Lightning pattern soft jade tendon pill. Hai Ling was at the peak of Star King, so she naturally knew what it was. I can give you 1, Night Sorrow said. No, I want 3. I'll leave 2 for my grandfather and father, Hai Ling said. 1 or a 10,000-year-old rootless pill. You choose. Night Sorrow rejected directly. He had many people to take care of. He could not accept Hai Ling's exorbitant demand. You can refine it yourself. Why can't you give it to me? Hai Ling was unwilling to give up. Then I'll give you another choice. I can refine more, but there won't be any pill tribulation. So, I can give you 3 pills without lightning marks. As for whether you want 1 top-grade pill or 3 ordinary pills, you can choose for yourself, Yishan said after thinking for a moment. Then can you give me 1 with lightning patterns and 2 ordinary pills? Hai Ling was unwilling to give up and repeated her request. Okay. It's not that I'm stingy. The opportunity belongs to whoever gets it. 1 lightning pattern soft jade tendon pill and 2 ordinary soft jade tendon pills? Night Sorrow agreed. Night Sorrow then refined another cauldron of soft jade tendon pill and gave the 3 pills to Hai Ling. You saved me this time, so I owe you a favor, Hai Ling said after receiving the pill. It's nothing. At the very least, on this floor we are teammates. I can't just watch my teammates die. This is a healing pill. It's also a top-grade pill. Take it and heal yourself. Night Sorrow gave Hai Ling another healing pill. He knew that Hai Ling's injuries were very serious. Hai Ling nodded and accepted the elixir. I have to go. There are still some things I have to do, Night Sorrow said. Is your harvest not enough? Why do you still want to fight? Hai Ling could not understand Night Sorrow's thoughts. I have to find a healing pill for my master. As long as I'm alive, I have to do it. It's safer here. Here's a trap and kill array disc for you. If you can't do it, run and hide in a safe place until the Heaven and Earth Pavilion closes. Night Sorrow took out an array disc and handed it to Hai Ling. After doing that, Night Sorrow stood up and told Hai Ling how to get out of the illusion array. Then he walked out of the illusion array. If you're alive, come visit the Hai family in Mysterious Yellow City. Hai Ling shouted at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow waved his hand and set off on his journey again. This time he only had one purpose in coming here, and that was to find Ming Dao. Although Ming Dao could not completely cure the Qing Emperor, it could guarantee that his life would not be in danger. Looking at Night Sorrow's back, Hai Ling knew that Night Sorrow had the ability to continue, but she could not. Although she was at the peak of the Star King realm and was good at speed, she was still incomparable to Night Sorrow. Besides, the soft jade tendon pill was enough for her. Night Sorrow continued to wander in this space. When he was resting, Night Sorrow opened the storage ring he had collected. There were a lot of resources in each storage ring. Because everyone who came to the Heaven and Earth Pavilion was in their original body, they usually carried things with them in case of emergencies. If they died, they would accept it. If their original body died, what was the use of resources? Therefore, everyone would equip their original body to the teeth. The resources in Yuan Daoist's storage ring were very rich. Night Sorrow actually saw the Myriad Dao Tome, which was exactly the same as his own. After the level, it was also blank. Night Sorrow understood that the level of the Myriad Dao Tome was the limit. The human sovereign should not have created the 9th level of the Myriad Dao Tome. In Xian Daozi's storage ring, there was nothing that Night Sorrow valued, but the resources were very rich. After all, the collection of an old monarch was very rich. On the 9th day, Night Sorrow found a teleportation array and entered the 22nd floor. Night Sorrow's heart was boiling and calm, and his fighting spirit was constantly rising. As time slowly passed, Night Sorrow broke through more and more floors. In the case of meeting opponents, he would meet at most a few people on each floor. Night Sorrow knew that there was a lot of space here. Everyone who came here for training was different. As Night Sorrow calmed himself down, he concocted a few more cauldrons of jade tendon bone pills. His family needed them, and so did the villains of the God-slaying squad. If he could help the people around him, he would. When Night Sorrow entered the 26th floor, he was immediately suppressed. It was full of astral winds and astral chi. Night Sorrow raised his protective energy shield and endured it. He did not understand what was going on. He quickly walked under the pressure of the astral chi and astral winds. He wanted to walk out of this strange circle because he would not be able to hold on for long. With his power of desolates exhausted, Night Sorrow tried to enter the space-time pagoda. However, he found that he couldn't. There were natural laws that blocked him from using spatial magical treasures. Tempering. Night Sorrow knew that this was tempering. If he could hold on, he would move on to the next floor. If he couldn't, then he would die. Next, Night Sorrow used his spatial energy to block. When the spatial energy was almost exhausted, Night Sorrow continued to use his void chi to block. Night Sorrow had calculated that if he used the 3 types of energy alternately, he would be able to withstand as much as a monarch. It could even be said that he surpassed a monarch. This was because when he used his void chi, he ate pills to recover his spatial and temporal energy. After using the 3 types of energy alternately for 2 rounds, Night Sorrow walked out of the vicious circle. If he didn't have any trump cards, he would die easily. Night Sorrow turned around and looked at the area filled with astral energy and astral winds. He felt a little emotional because this was too difficult. Not far ahead was the spatial tunnel. Night Sorrow knew that it was getting harder and harder, but he couldn't retreat. He had to move forward. After entering the spatial tunnel, Night Sorrow used his energy to protect himself. After exiting the spatial tunnel, Night Sorrow didn't find anything special. However, just as he let his guard down, his opponent came. A figure with a metallic glow appeared in front of Night Sorrow. Second update. Thank you for the unsealing of 4 and Low yesterday. The website had been modified a little. The computer version could be viewed and the mobile version could be viewed. If it's convenient, you can download the mobile version. It might be a little inconvenient for the time being, but you'll get used to it. You'll be more tolerant and understanding. Chapter 1321. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go Novels Web. I'll bring you a wonderful novel to read. Gold man. This was not a human but a metal life form. There were all kinds of strange things in the boundless world. Plants and minerals could achieve Tao. The gold man in front of him was a mineral that achieved Tao. The gold man's attack was fierce, and Night Sorrow could not take it head-on. In addition, he had not found the gold man's weakness. Night Sorrow used afterimage body. Then his original body and clone separated to restrain the gold man. After fighting for a while, Night Sorrow realized that the gold man's body was tyrannical. It was unrealistic to cut the body. He could only attack the soul. If the body was strong, then the soul might be the weakness. After blasting out a time shock wave, Night Sorrow's original body and clone both used soul destruction slash. 2 dark purple crescent blades rushed toward the gold man's bald head. At this time, a golden light wave appeared on the gold man's head to block Night Sorrow's soul destruction slash. However, its attack also stopped. Obviously, the soul defense had a great impact on it. The gold man did not move, but Night Sorrow moved. Samsara and Space Splitter bombarded the gold man's body, destabilizing the energy in its body. Then 2 dark purple crescent blades kept attacking. If he wanted to take down the Gold Man, he had to attack the soul. However, the Gold Man's soul defense was also very strong. Void Extreme Kill. Night Sorrow growled. His original body used Void Extreme Kill to stab at the Gold Man. Just now he had used Space Revolving Dragon Kill twice. Several times shockwaves had not broken the Gold Man's defense. Now he planned to try using Void Extreme Kill, which had extremely strong penetrating power. Samsara had the ability to attack the soul, but the prerequisite was that it had to pierce the opponent's body. As the purple halo of Samsara exploded, a hole was melted in the Gold Man's chest. Samsara pierced all the way in. This was the dominance of the supreme attribute. At this time, Samsara, which had pierced into the Gold Man's body, emitted a special energy that rushed toward the spirit sea in the Gold Man's head. With the impact of this energy, the Gold Man's divine sea was shaken. At this moment, Night Sorrow's two soul destruction crescent moon slash broke through the Gold Man's soul defense and entered his head. At that moment, Night Sorrow discovered that there was a white crystal in the Gold Man's spirit sea. The crystal and its exterior were wrapped in golden energy. Break. With a low growl, Night Sorrow controlled one of the crescent blades to land on the white crystal, dispersing the golden energy on the crystal and inside it. The other crescent blade slashed wildly in the Gold Man's spiritual sea. In fact, there was no need for Night Sorrow's crescent blade to slash wildly. After Night Sorrow had shaken off the energy on the crystal, the Gold Man's eyes had lost their light and consciousness. What a great harvest! Night Sorrow knew that he had a great harvest. This Gold Man was a top-grade crafting material, spiritual Tao copper essence. Of course, Night Sorrow would not destroy this Gold Man. As long as he refined the crystal in the Gold Man's spirit sea, he would be able to control the Gold Man. This Gold Man's combat power was at the monarch level. Seeing that the Gold Man's chest had automatically recovered, Night Sorrow felt that he should find a safe place to refine it. After flying for a while, Night Sorrow entered the Spacetime Treasure Pagoda to refine the Gold Man. As soon as he refined it, Night Sorrow discovered a problem. The secrets in the crystal were all natural patterns. If he did not study it thoroughly, he would not be able to make it recognize him as its master. However, he did not have the time. In the Heaven and Earth Pavilion, the Gold Man could not be counted on. Night Sorrow shook his head helplessly. Night Sorrow began to explore this space again. However, he did not find anything. After searching for half a month, he collected some ores. However, Night Sorrow did not find any space tunnel or teleportation formation. He did not know how to enter the 28th floor. After 2 months, Night Sorrow still did not find the opportunity to enter the 28th floor. On this day, Night Sorrow set up a tent and was resting when a cultivator appeared. No wonder I can't enter the 28th floor. It's because of you. There's no trigger condition. This old man attacked Night Sorrow with his sword. The long sword was filled with vibrations of space energy. He did not hold back at all. Monarch. Night Sorrow realized that his opponent was a monarch. Even if he was a monarch, he had to be a powerful one to enter the 27th floor. Night Sorrow used Afterimage to dodge his opponent's attack. Then he counterattacked. The two of them fought with speed. In an instant they had exchanged hundreds of moves. Positive slash, first 90 rounds of addition, soul sword slash. After a head-on collision, the old man let out a low growl. Then a solid sword was shot out from his spirit sea. Soul attack secret skill. After countless battles, Night Sorrow had seen soul defense secret skills. However, soul attack secret skills were rare. He understood that this was the reason why this monarch could reach the 27th floor. He was strong and had a soul attack secret skill. He had the ability to enter the 27th floor. Night Sorrow was also good at soul attacks. He immediately used Soul Destruction Slash's Crescent Blade and clashed with the Monarch's Soul Sword Blade. However, Night Sorrow was not as strong as this monarch. The Crescent Blade was not as strong as the Soul Sword Blade. After the Crescent Blade was blocked, the Soul Sword Blade continued to attack Night Sorrow. However, Night Sorrow's original body still had Soul Destruction Slash's Crescent Blade. Night Sorrow's two Crescent Blades blocked the Soul Sword Blade. Death Destruction Slash. After breaking the opponent's Soul Secret Technique attack, Night Sorrow's doppelganger flashed and directly used the Great Death Obliteration Slash. After being surrounded by the rippling death halo, the old man let out a low growl. The halo on his head rippled and he struggled to break free from Night Sorrow's Death Destruction Slash. He used his long sword to block one of Night Sorrow's clones. However, at this moment Yishang's real body's Great Emperor Samsara Slash followed up. Yishang knew that his opponent was much stronger than him, both in terms of cultivation and soul power. He could not give his opponent a second chance to attack, nor could he give his opponent a chance to escape. When the old man appeared, he made it very clear. Night Sorrow's existence prevented him from reaching the 28th floor. Similarly, this old man's existence prevented Night Sorrow from reaching the 28th floor. Before the old man could react, Night Sorrow's Samsara arrived in front of him with a purple halo. The purple halo that could affect the soul engulfed this sovereign. Night Sorrow's Samsara entered the old man's forehead without any hindrance, piercing through his head and spirit sea. After killing his opponent, Night Sorrow went forward to collect the storage ring and weapons. Night Sorrow did not lack king weapons, but the members of the god-slaying team did. It would be good to take them back and give them to everyone. After Night Sorrow collected the spoils of war, the mystic golden light on Night Sorrow's arm moved. It turned into a protective shield and pulled Night Sorrow into another space. The 28th floor. After checking that there was no danger, Night Sorrow opened the old man's storage ring. A handwritten letter entered Night Sorrow's vision. Chapter 1322. Genius 1 second remembers Love Go Novels Web, bringing you interesting novels to read. Small, say. The letter recorded some information about the Heaven and Earth Pavilion. Night Sorrow didn't know about it, and even Tang Bo and the others didn't know about it. This was a letter from a predecessor, the one who saw the heavenly artifact. He had fallen, but he still had a clone outside. He entered the Heaven and Earth Pavilion and went through the 33rd floor. That meant that he didn't know how many floors there were in the Heaven and Earth Pavilion, but there were only 33 floors in total, and the 33rd floor was the top floor. The author of the letter saw the heavenly artifact on the 33rd floor, but he didn't get it. Most importantly, as long as he entered the 33rd floor, he could make a request to the Heaven and Earth Pavilion. If he could complete it, then the Heaven and Earth Pavilion would fulfill his request. The author of the letter reached the 33rd floor. He wanted the heavenly artifact, and the Heaven and Earth Pavilion gave it to him. However, he didn't pass the test and couldn't get it. 28th floor. 5 more floors. Night Sorrow was excited. This information was very important to him. As long as he passed 5 more floors, he would have a chance to ask the Heaven and Earth Pavilion's artifact spirit for enlightenment. Hard work. Night Sorrow knew that the next 5 floors wouldn't be easy. The higher the floor, the harder it would be. Of course, the risk was proportional to the reward. Then Night Sorrow looked at the sovereign's collection. It was very rich. He reached the 27th floor. Apart from his previous collection, he also had a lot of rewards this time. However, these were all Night Sorrow's now. Night Sorrow also found the Soul Spirit Sword Chop book. After looking at the book, Night Sorrow smiled. He already had the Soul Destruction Chop, so he naturally wouldn't choose to cultivate it. However, this Soul Spirit secret technique could be learned by others, and he didn't have to worry about the inheritance. Since he got it himself, he could teach it to whoever he wanted. After packing up, Night Sorrow continued forward. As he moved forward, Night Sorrow realized that this was a terrifying space. There were no large beasts, but there were groups of poisonous beasts. They were fast and poisonous. Night Sorrow had secretive true body and the detoxification pill. Poisons that were fatal to ordinary cultivators were not a threat to him. However, finding the spatial passageway to the 29th floor was very difficult. After spending 2 months and dodging countless poisonous creatures, Night Sorrow finally found the passageway to the 29th floor. After setting up a comprehensive defense, Night Sorrow entered the 29th floor. However, Night Sorrow didn't encounter any attacks and was rather safe. Night Sorrow let out a sigh of relief, but it was only for a moment before an opponent appeared. It was a Windfire Dragon. The Windfire Dragon was extremely fast as it continuously attacked in the air. Wind blades and flames continuously bombarded Night Sorrow. Facing the Windfire Dragon that was extremely talented, Night Sorrow went all out. While dodging with all his might, he released the Spatial Pagoda and 8 Dragon Cauldron and smashed them towards the Windfire Dragon. The Spacetime Pagoda and Cauldron of 8 dragons were huge, so their smashing power was terrifying. A moment later, the Windfire Dragon, which was so huge that it couldn't dodge, was smashed to pieces. Its scales and blood flew everywhere. The furious Windfire Dragon continued to charge at Yi Sorrow, its power even more explosive. Night Sorrow's doppelganger and his doppelganger both activated the illusion array discs. After holding them in their hands, they quickly left the battlefield. However, their soul power was still controlling the 2 treasures to attack the Windfire Dragon. Since they couldn't see Night Sorrow, the wind-fire dragon attacked with a large area. Wind blades, flames, tail sweeps, etc. They wanted to find Night Sorrow. The wind-fire dragon's method was very effective. Once Night Sorrow's illusion array was attacked by the energy, ripples would appear and he would be discovered by the wind-fire dragon. Luckily, Night Sorrow's speed was quite fast. After being discovered, he instantly teleported away, causing the wind-fire dragon's violent attacks to miss. The wind-fire dragon was quite annoyed because it could only passively take a beating. It couldn't do anything to Night Sorrow. After fighting for 2 hours, the wind-fire dragon's aura became much weaker. This was because it had been continuously attacking with high intensity, and it had also been heavily damaged by the spatial pagoda and 8-dragon cauldron. Since it couldn't defeat Night Sorrow, the wind-fire dragon planned to retreat. However, Night Sorrow was unwilling to do so. It had been madly attacking for 2 hours and now it wanted to give up. Night Sorrow chased after him from behind, and the two Dharma treasures constantly bombarded each other. After 2 hours of chasing, the wind-fire dragon couldn't hold on any longer. Even though it had a lot of life force, it couldn't withstand Night Sorrow's attacks for 4 hours. Its life force had already been depleted and it was about to die. Sorry? This is the way of the world. I don't want you to suffer, so I'll send you off. Night Sorrow's body flashed, and he appeared in front of the wind-fire dragon. With a single attack, he pierced through the wind-fire dragon's forehead, killing it. The wind-fire dragon wasn't a pure dragon, but its essence blood was all treasures. It had been losing normal blood, but the precious essence blood and heart blood were still there. After the wind-fire dragon died, Night Sorrow quickly put the wind-fire dragon's corpse into the 8-dragon cauldron because he could feel the wind-fire dragon's energy dissipating. Tang Bo and Tang Yi had emphasized a few times that the lives that died in the Heaven and Earth Pavilion were nourishment for the Heaven and Earth Pavilion. Since they were nourishment, their energy and essence would be taken away. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Night Sorrow naturally wouldn't let the wind-fire dragon's corpse lose its energy, so he immediately put it into the 8-dragon cauldron. Just as Night Sorrow put away the wind-fire dragon, a spatial tunnel appeared not too far away from Night Sorrow. Looking at the spatial tunnel, Night Sorrow understood that the wind-fire dragon was the guard of the 29th level. If he could kill it, he would be able to enter the 30th level. If he couldn't, then he would end up in the wind-fire dragon's stomach. After Night Sorrow consumed the life spirit fluid and holy spirit fluid to recover, he entered the spatial passageway after setting up a comprehensive defense. This was a special world. The spirit chi was extremely dense and it was filled with peace and serenity. This peace and serenity calmed down Night Sorrow's restless heart. Night Sorrow tried to return to the 8-dragon cauldron, and he was able to enter it. After entering the 20th level, Night Sorrow could no longer enter spatial treasures, which meant that he couldn't avoid battles. Now that he could, Night Sorrow was very happy. He entered the 8-dragon cauldron and started to deal with the wind-fire dragon's corpse. The dragon's body was full of treasures, and they were all top-grade materials for refining pills and equipment. Night Sorrow used an hour to deal with it. After brewing a pot of tea and resting for a while, Night Sorrow started to explore the 30th level. There were no high-level beasts in the 30th level, but there were many pills and materials, and they were all of the king grade. Night Sorrow collected them as he explored. He felt that the 30th level was the true journey of opportunities, and cultivators would be rich once they came here. In a special environment, Night Sorrow saw soul cultivation liquid and soul cultivation tea. These were treasures for sovereigns. Night Sorrow still had a stock of soul cultivation liquid, but he didn't have much of it. However, there seemed to be a limit. After Night Sorrow collected 9 drops of soul cultivation liquid from the inverted stalactite, he stopped producing soul cultivation liquid. Chapter 1323. After that, Night Sorrow collected the soul-nurturing tea. His wives could not use the soul-nurturing liquid, but they could consume the soul-nurturing tea. It could increase their soul power and cultivation. After collecting the soul-nurturing tea, Night Sorrow continued to walk around the 30th floor. He knew that this was a chance for him to rest and recuperate. After 2 more floors he would be able to enter the final floor, the 33rd floor. Night Sorrow's path on the 30th floor changed. He did not find the opportunity to enter the 31st floor. Night Sorrow felt that he did not find the key point. If he did, he would naturally enter the 31st floor. After a month, the mysterious golden light on Night Sorrow's arm changed and wrapped around Night Sorrow. There was a time limit. Night Sorrow understood that the 30th floor was a month. When the time was up, he could enter the next floor. At this time, the mysterious golden light began to pull Night Sorrow into another space. The 31st floor was like a large palace. However, the moment Night Sorrow entered, a strong pressure appeared. The pressure attacked Night Sorrow. It was an attack on Night Sorrow's soul. At this time, Night Sorrow could not avoid it. He could only sit down cross-legged and endure the pressure. The pressure continued to suppress Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow knew that this was what he could endure. If he could not, his consciousness would be attacked and he would become an idiot. If it was serious, his spirit ocean would be shattered. After activating his light of virtue to resist the pressure, Night Sorrow endured it. 7 days, 10 days, and on the 21st day the pressure disappeared. A spatial tunnel appeared in the middle of the palace. Test. This was a pure test. Night Sorrow understood that before the 30th floor of the Heaven and Earth Pavilion, danger and opportunity coexisted. The 30th floor was a pure reward. Now it was a pure test. After recovering to his best state, Night Sorrow entered the spatial tunnel. As the energy rotated, the environment and space around Night Sorrow changed. Then he appeared in another palace. The 32nd floor. After entering the 32nd level, Night Sorrow had already made his preparations. This was the final test to enter the 33rd heaven. After passing this test, he would be able to know whether or not there was an enlightened Tao. If there was, then it would depend on his ability. If there wasn't, then this would be a pure experience. Just as Night Sorrow was preparing, the test arrived. Energy pressure, willpower pressure, and soul pressure rolled over. Overall suppression was much more terrifying than the 31st floor. Monarch rank. Energy oppression was monarch rank, will oppression was monarch rank, and soul oppression was monarch rank. This was a comprehensive monarch rank oppression test. Night Sorrow used a shockwave in his protective barrier, which could reduce the consumption of energy. Then he used the spacetime willpower to resist the pressure from the Heaven and Earth Pavilion's mixed willpower. In response to the soul suppression, Night Sorrow activated the soul orb. While defending his soul, he also activated the golden light of virtue. The pressure was great and Night Sorrow was bearing it all. After enduring for 2 hours, Night Sorrow's spatial energy and power of desolates were more than half depleted. He planned to enter the spatial treasure with his real body and use his clone to resist. However, he realized that there were restrictions again. This meant that he could not enter the spatial treasure and had to use his real body to resist. In such a situation, replenishment was more important. Night Sorrow casually took out resources to replenish his consumption. However, Night Sorrow realized that he could not communicate with the spatial ring under the restrictions of the Heaven and Earth law. Without any external interference, Night Sorrow understood what was going on. He could not take advantage of the situation. He had to rely on his own strength to avoid all external forces. In such a situation, Night Sorrow had to make arrangements. He could not use only one type of energy. He had to use 3 types of energy alternately. This way he might be able to withstand it. Looking at the original chapter, Night Sorrow's soul power was now at the monarch rank. With the golden light of virtue weakening the pressure, his soul defense was possible. As for the comprehension of willpower, Night Sorrow's spacetime willpower and nihility willpower were interchangeable. He also had the monarch rank resistance. Night Sorrow was worried about his own energy. Although his time and space willpower were at the advanced king rank, there was still a gap between them and the monarch rank. He could make up for it with his wisdom and usage. The pressure was endless. The energy within the Heaven and Earth Pavilion was like a tidal wave that constantly battered Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was like a reef that resisted the waves. No matter how ferocious the waves were, he would remain unmoved. After a day, Night Sorrow's condition had deteriorated. However, his fighting spirit was high. He believed that if other monarchs could do it, he could do it too. Since the Heaven Masters were not allowed to enter, there would be no Heaven Master level test. After 2 days, Night Sorrow's condition was low. With a low roar, Night Sorrow activated his battle spirit. The battle spirit could not weaken the pressure from the Heaven and Earth Pavilion, but it could improve Night Sorrow's condition. Time slipped away slowly. The energy in Night Sorrow's body was decreasing. No matter how he planned to use it, the consumption was still there. His soul power was also greatly consumed because he had been constantly activating his energy to resist the pressure from the Heaven and Earth Pavilion's willpower. Night Sorrow felt that he could not take it anymore. He had done everything he could, but the test here was too difficult. He could not obtain the path of enlightenment not because he did not work hard enough, but because the pressure from the Heaven and Earth Pavilion was not something he could withstand. If he could not withstand it, he would die. Night Sorrow did not regret dying. Some things had to be done even if he knew that he would die. This was perseverance and faith. It was a quality that one could not lose. After he thought things through, Yishan became much more at ease. His face, which had been contorted with all his might, became much calmer. Ask the heart. Night Sorrow asked his own heart. In the past years he had worked hard, fought, and never gave up on his faith. He had a clear conscience. He did not let himself down. Night Sorrow also understood what he had always wanted. It was to charge towards the path of an expert. It was to protect his family, his loved ones, and the nine-domain world. Even if he failed, he would not regret it. Come. Night Sorrow was very calm. As Night Sorrow comprehended his state of mind, his weakened soul power once again erupted with potential. It even had a faint golden light. Enlightenment and awakening were cultivation. It was the cultivation of one's state of mind and soul. After comprehending, Night Sorrow's soul power had a holy light. At this moment, the nine-domain world was also filled with golden light. Accompanied by Yi Qingyan, the Qing Emperor, who was drinking tea by the lake in the nine-domain world city in the sky, stopped. Qingyan, your father has made great achievements again. The Qing Emperor looked at the golden light in the sky and said, Grandmaster, my father is not cultivating. He has gone to the Xuanhuang Great World. Yi Qingyan said, You don't understand. Cultivation is not necessarily cultivation of energy. Your father is now a virtuous saint. This light is the virtuous golden light. In the nine-domain world, if your father says that the river flows backward, the river will flow backward. If your father says that the sun and the moon have no light, there will be no light in this world. The Qing Emperor said. He was very pleased with his disciple's achievement. This was an unimaginable realm of cultivation of mind and morality. Chapter 13:24. Yi Qingyan was stunned because she didn't understand. Your father used to be a body of merit in the nine-domain world, and he contributed a lot to the nine-domain world. He also paid attention to his cultivation, and he was very strict with himself. Not only did the nine-domain world's origin acknowledge him, but the heavenly Tao also acknowledged him. However, he's not in a good situation now, the Qing Emperor said. What's going on? At this moment, Misty Rain and Jun Xuanji also arrived. Some insights can only be gained during times of crisis, when one is facing everything calmly. It can even be said that one can only gain insights when one is on the brink of death. Let's go to the heaven-sealing Great Hall to take a look. After thinking of some things, the Cyan Emperor was somewhat anxious. After arriving at the heaven-sealing Great Hall, they didn't see Night Sorrow. At this moment, Night Sorrow's clone in the heaven-sealing Great Hall was affected by his original body and was also gaining enlightenment. They decided to wait here. The Qing Emperor was worried about Night Sorrow. He knew that some enlightenment could only be gained at the end of one's life. Now that the golden light of merit was about to appear in the nine-domain world, it could be a good thing or a bad thing. In the 30th heaven of the Heaven and Earth Pavilion, Night Sorrow's face was calm. If one looked carefully, one could even see a calm smile on his face. Just as they were talking, the pressure on Night Sorrow disappeared, and the Great Hall became calm again. The golden light of profound yellow wrapped around and pulled Night Sorrow to the next level again. One day later, Night Sorrow opened his eyes. It was still a great hall, but it was much more simple and solemn. A mysterious aura surrounded the hall, and a man stood in the middle of the hall with his hands behind his back. Night Sorrow stood up, and the man also turned around. Countless years have passed, and you're the third person to enter the 33rd heaven. The first two were sovereigns, and they were invincible sovereigns. You're not bad to be able to reach here, the man in golden armor with sword-like eyebrows and starry eyes said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow greets Senior, Night Sorrow said as he bowed. Virtuous merit saint. It's a pity that you are not a member of our Black-Yellow Great Worlds World Group. Still, I am very happy to see a genius like you. The man nodded at Night Sorrow, his eyes filled with praise. Night Sorrow found that the origin of the Black-Yellow Great World and the origin of the world of Samsara were completely different in aura. The origin of the world of Samsara had an oppressive and magnificent aura, while the origin of the Black-Yellow Great World had a thick and sharp chi power. Don't speak first. This lord set up the Heaven and Earth Pavilions test for the sake of nurturing some geniuses and destroying some mediocre geniuses. You are a genius. If you stop now, the rewards this time around would be yours. But if you speak, you have to follow the rules. No one can change this, not even this lord. The source energy of the world of reincarnation spoke. Thank you for your reminder, Senior. Night Sorrow is not here for resources, nor for opportunities. I am here to solve a problem in my heart. If I can get what I want, I am willing to keep everything I have gained this time, Night Sorrow said. It's a good thing for young people to have ambitions, but there is a limit. You are young and have a body of merit. You are blessed by the heavenly Tao. If you keep going steadily, you will achieve great things. Why do you have to risk your life? As a cultivator, you need to have the courage to risk your life. But you also need to know when to stop. The two geniuses who entered the 33rd floor all wanted the heavenly Tao artifact. Unfortunately, without exception, both of them died here. The heavenly Tao artifact is not that easy to obtain, said the origin of the black-yellow great world. I'm not here for the heavenly Tao artifact. I am here for a material. Night Sorrow knew that the origin of the black-yellow great world had misunderstood. It might know about the black-yellow great world, but it did not know about the world of samsara. What material? Asked the origin of the black-yellow great world after being stunned. The enlightened Tao. The enlightened Tao that can repair a cultivator's dantian and meridians, said Night Sorrow. You are fine, but you are asking for the enlightened Tao. It seems that you are doing it for someone else, said the origin of the black-yellow great world after sizing up Night Sorrow. To save someone. To save my master. Night Sorrow then told the origin of his situation. I understand. But this heaven and earth pavilion has its own rules. Whether you are asking for the heavenly Tao artifact or a spiritual stone, the test is the same. There is a 90% chance of death. You might not even have a chance, said the origin of the black-yellow great world. There are some things that must be done. If I miss it because my belief is not firm enough or because I am not brave enough, then I will not be able to face myself. Thank you for your advice, Senior, said Night Sorrow. I don't have the enlightened Tao here, but I do have a heavenly Tao. The effect of a leaf is equivalent to the enlightened Tao. The origin of the black-yellow great world looked at Night Sorrow and gave him the answer. Then this junior will ask for a leaf of the heavenly Tao. Night Sorrow's attitude was firm. He did not ask for a great harvest. He only wanted to solve the problem of the Qing Emperor. Firm attitude. But there are some things that I still have to say. You are not from the black-yellow great world. The chances of the heaven and earth pavilion are for the cultivators of the black-yellow great world. For those from other worlds, I will also give them a chance, but the difficulty will be higher. I did not make things difficult for you because you have a body of merit. But now I have a request. The origin of the black-yellow great world looked at Night Sorrow and said, Square root original first. Post, Senior Night Sorrow came here according to the rules of the heaven and earth pavilion. Please make an exception. Night Sorrow is willing to accept the test. Night Sorrow's heart skipped a beat. Some of the disadvantages of not being a cultivator of the black-yellow great world still appeared. Rules? I can give you a chance to accept the rules of the heaven and earth pavilion's test. I can also not give you a chance. I can't kill you. That will harm my own fate. Can I at least send you out? The origin of the black-yellow great world looked at Night Sorrow and snorted. Senior, Night Sorrow is young and inexperienced. I'm afraid I can't fulfill your request. Night Sorrow bowed and said, That's another matter. That's another matter. You've intentionally suppressed your own source energy. However, there's nothing in this heaven and earth pavilion that can hide from me. You're the realm lord and you're the supreme source energy. Besides, there's another source energy in your body. If I'm not wrong, it should be the source energy of the world of reincarnation. He should have told you something. The source energy of the Shenhuang Great World spoke. Night Sorrow did not say a word, because it was the truth. Now I will give you a choice. If you agree to one of my conditions, the heavenly Tao will reward you. In addition, if you pass the test, I will give you an opportunity. Whether you can get it depends on your ability. The origin of the black-yellow great world said. Senior, is this appropriate? I'm just following the rules. Night Sorrow was a little helpless. He could not give up the enlightened Tao, which was the current heavenly Tao. But he did not want to be bound. Rules? Not to mention the heaven and earth pavilion, even in the black-yellow great world, I am the rule. You can only choose one. The origin of the black-yellow great world was very strong. It directly cut off Night Sorrow's escape route. Senior, please tell me your conditions. I'll think about it. Night Sorrow said. Second watch. Chapter 1325. Unseal. When the Shenhuang world is destroyed, come and help me. Take my origin and give me a chance to develop again, said the origin of the Shenhuang world. How do I help you? Night Sorrow would not agree to other people's requests. Once he agreed, he would do his best. It's very simple. You have the supreme attribute and so does your world. Your supreme attribute is new, so you still have a long life. But I don't. When the time comes, I will need you to protect my origin from being destroyed. After a period of protection, I will naturally continue to reproduce and return to my current state. What you need to do is to protect me. Of course, you will be the benefactor of the world of samsara at that time, and you will also receive a lot of benefits, said the origin of the Shenhuang world. Okay, I'll take it. As long as I'm still alive, said Night Sorrow. You're right. That's right. First of all, you've got to stay alive. That's because the next stage is going to be extremely difficult. There have been 2 geniuses who had made it here in the past. However, both of them had fallen. This rule was set by your lord a long time ago, and so was the test. As for whether or not you can clear it, that's all up to you. As for the outcome, your lord will leave it to the heavens. The source of Shenhuang world spoke up. Then let's do it. Yi Shang said. Okay, then it's up to you. Go to sleep. The origin of the Shenhuang world waved his sleeve, and the energy in the hall shrouded Night Sorrow. After being shrouded by the energy, Night Sorrow entered a strange state. In Jianghu village, Night Sorrow went out with Eben on his back. Brother Night Sorrow, I want a rabbit. Brother Night Sorrow, I want a bear's tooth to make a necklace. Night Sorrow nodded to the children of Jianghu village and said, Wait for me. I will do it. Day after day, Papa Gu grew old. Night Sorrow got married and had children. He also grew old gradually. When he was so old that he could not move, Night Sorrow asked himself if he would have a different life if he had strongly requested Papa Gu to go out and cultivate. In Jianghu village, Night Sorrow went out with Eben on his back. Night Sorrow, bring a big guy back to go with the wine. Uncle Nyo's good wine is waiting for you. Uncle Nyo of Jianghu village shouted to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow hunted the black scale beast and brought it back to the village. Night Sorrow told Papa Gu again. And Papa Gu agreed with Uncle Nyo. After countless trials and tribulations, Night Sorrow finally made it to the medicinal valley. However, under the threat of Qin Hai and Qin Shan, he retreated. In the end, he became a guard at a medicinal shop. He only managed to cultivate to the core formation stage. His longevity was over, and he sat in the mansion he had earned. He felt that he had not resisted. If he had persisted in the past, perhaps his life would have been different. Jianghu. Life after life was placed in front of him. But all of them had flaws. Life was full of different forms. Life after life. At this moment, Night Sorrow was already a monarch. When he saw his opponents coming, he could not resist. Sikong Chiu fell. Oi fell. His parents fell. Even Qing Yen fell in his arms. When Qing Yen touched her wound and said, Father, I'm in pain, Night Sorrow, who never cried, cried. What did he want all these years? What did he want? To protect his family and the people around him. Why couldn't he do it? With the shouts, Night Sorrow understood one thing. If he wanted to protect his family and his family, he had to be invincible. His combat power was unparalleled. Night Sorrow opened his eyes. After wiping the corners of his eyes, he bowed to the origin of the Xuanhuan Great World. Thank you, Senior. It seems that you really understand and understand. This is the illusion of life. There are 100 lives. If you don't wake up after 100 lives and don't understand your flaws, you won't wake up again. Your soul will scatter and become nourishment for the pavilion of heaven and earth. Only by understanding your shortcomings can you break the illusion of life. Actually, I've seen the 100 lives in your inner world. You cultivate your heart and morals. You don't have any desires or fights. You are a perfect human. However, you lack a spirit. The spirit to go against the heavens. Only by being invincible and having unparalleled combat power can you give the people around you a sense of security, said the origin of the Xuanhuan Great World. Night Sorrow understands. I understand a life without action and a life without regrets. Therefore, I know what I should do in the future, said Night Sorrow. Congratulations. Since the formation of the Xuanhuan Great World, you are the only practitioner who has passed the test of the 33 levels of heaven. Although you are not from the Xuanhuan World Group, I'm still happy for you. The origin of the Xuanhuan Great World nodded to Night Sorrow. Then, the origin of the Xuanhuan Great World waved his hand. A strand of energy wrapped around a 7-leaf plant appeared. This is the way of heaven. Its effect is far beyond the way of enlightenment. 1 leaf can kill a person and turn him into a skeleton. In your master's case, 1 leaf is enough. But don't waste it. You cultivate your body. If you can make further progress in the future, you can use it to cultivate your body. It's an amazing material. There is no way of heaven in the world anymore, said the origin of the Xuanhuan Great World. All for me, said Night Sorrow. I said I'll give you double the reward. Are you going to ask for something else? If so, you can only take one leaf of the way of heaven, said the origin of the Xuanhuan Great World. Then it's him. So what if it's a divine weapon of heaven? It's an external object after all. Strength is the most important thing, said Night Sorrow. That's right. The origin of the world of samsara should have told you something. It should also help you. If you have any difficulties in the future and need my help, you can come to the Heaven and Earth Pavilion, said the origin of the Xuanhuan Great World. At the same time, it handed the way of heaven to Night Sorrow. The way of heaven needs the power of the world's origin to grow. It will never wither. Take good care of it. Night Sorrow nodded. He was very happy. With the way of heaven in his hand, Night Sorrow no longer had to worry about the Qing Emperor's life. Young man, you've completed the trial of the Heaven and Earth Pavilion perfectly. It's a perfect journey. The origin of the Xuanhuan Great World congratulated Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow also bowed to the origin of the Xuanhuan Great World. He was very grateful. Night Sorrow had never lacked gratitude. The origin of the Xuanhuan Great World nodded to Night Sorrow. Then it waved its arm. Night Sorrow felt the space-time change. When he reappeared, he was in the void outside the Heaven and Earth Pavilion. There were other figures in the void. They were all sent out by the Heaven and Earth Pavilion. At this time there was another fight in the sky. There were people who were at a disadvantage. Now that they met again, how could they not kill? Tang Bo and Tang Yi flew to Night Sorrow's side. It's good that you're safe and sound. It's so fast this time. In the past it would take at least 10 years. This time it hasn't even been 3 years, Tang Yi muttered. At this time, Junhua and Hai Ling also came to Night Sorrow's side. Night Sorrow, I Hai Ling formally invite you to visit the Sea King's mansion. Hai Ling looked at Night Sorrow and said, Thank you. But it will be a little later. I have to deal with another matter first. Brother Jun, can you take me to Wuling Mountain later? Night Sorrow looked at Junhua. Say it. Chapter 1326. Unseal? Okay, when? Junhua was stunned for a moment. As soon as possible. Can we do it now? Night Sorrow asked. Tang Bo and Tang Yi didn't understand why Night Sorrow suddenly wanted to go to Wuling Mountain, but the two of them expressed that they were willing to accompany Night Sorrow. But at this moment, a saber aura charged towards Night Sorrow. It was a black metal man. Puppet. Night Sorrow knew that it was a puppet of the celestial sect. Now that it was really here to assassinate him, it was merciless. The main reason was that fighting was not prohibited here. Courting death. Datura, who had received a message from his subordinate, came to pick up Night Sorrow. When he saw this scene as soon as he arrived, he was furious. He rushed out and fought with the puppet controlled by Elder Jia of the Celestial Sect. The puppet of the Sky Pillar Sect was powerful because the internal formation could produce destructive energy, so its combat power was tyrannical. However, what kind of combat power did Datura have now? He could kill other Sky Pillars, so he suppressed this Sky Pillar level puppet and forced it to retreat. In the end, he used the Death Destruction Slash and directly enveloped the black puppet. Then he slashed the black puppet's head. At this moment, the puppet stopped moving. A figure appeared and spat out blood as he flew backward. This person was Elder Jia. Datura didn't cut through the puppet's defense just now, but he destroyed the formation inside the puppet. Elder Jia was also injured. The puppet was shaken until it couldn't operate properly. Elder Jia naturally had to escape or he would be killed inside. However, Elder Jia couldn't escape. Without the puppet he was just a monarch. Datura was one of the best among the Sky Pillars, let alone a monarch. She didn't even use her ultimate move. She chased after Elder Jia and killed him with 2 slashes. Datura put away Elder Jia's storage ring and puppet. Then he looked at Night Sorrow. I told you to wait for me. Why didn't you behave? Hehe, I just came out as well. You came quickly, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then come back with me. Datura said. Wait for a moment. I've been asked by someone to take care of some matters. After that I'll go back. Night Sorrow said. He wanted to take care of Jun Yunan's matter. Then I'll go with you. Datura was now worried about Night Sorrow. There were too many people who wanted to kill Night Sorrow. Then Night Sorrow, Datura, Tang Bo, and Tang Yi went to the teleportation formation in the Xinhuang city and went directly to Mount Wuling. Brother Yi, who are you planning to meet? I can introduce you. After exiting the teleportation array, Junhua looked at Night Sorrow. I wonder if Brother Jun knows someone called Jun Yunan? Night Sorrow suddenly remembered that Jun Yunan and Junhua were both surnamed Jun. He could ask Junhua. If there was news, he didn't have to go to Mount Wuling officially. Junyunan, how do you know this name? After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Junhua was stunned. I saw his skeleton in the pavilion of heaven and earth. He asked me to help him with something. I want to see his wife, Night Sorrow said. Brother Yi, I won't hide it from you. Junyunan is my uncle. It's difficult for him to see my aunt. After my uncle's death, my aunt hasn't seen any guests for 3 million years. The mountain master doesn't allow anyone to disturb her. Junhua said. The great ancestor of the Jun family was an elder of the Mount Wuling. He had a good relationship with the Mount Wuling master, so Junyunan married the Mount Wuling master's daughter. As for Junhua, he was a junior who was valued by the Mount Wuling master and was taken in as a disciple. Of course, their seniority was different. First, it was the official version. Second, the other versions were all pirated versions. Thank you, Brother Jun. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to Junhua. Then Junhua took Night Sorrow and the others to a yard to rest. He went to report. Actually, even if you don't report, someone will come. Datura asked. The Mount Wuling master was a top force. They had a powerful figure. Her arrival would be sensed by them and they would come soon. Night Sorrow then told Datura what happened. While they were talking, a tall and sturdy man appeared in front of the yard. You are? The tall and sturdy man looked at Datura with suspicion. Datura from the dark abyss in the world of samsara. I'm here to accompany a friend. Datura looked at the man and said his identity. The man in front of him was a powerful figure. I'm the Mount Wuling master. I didn't know that the Dark Dominator would come. Sorry for not coming out to meet you. The Mount Wuling master cupped his hands to Datura. Then they sat down in the yard. Under the Mount Wuling master's inquiry, Night Sorrow told him his purpose. Alas, Junyunan was my son-in-law. Unfortunately, he was poisoned and there was no cure. He could only go to the pavilion of heaven and earth to try his luck. But he still died. The Mount Wuling master sighed. After a while, Junhua appeared with a woman with white hair who didn't look old at all. After entering the yard, the woman first greeted the Mount Wuling master and then said to Night Sorrow and the others, I'm Junyunan's wife. It's like this. When I entered the heaven and earth pavilion this time, I went to the place where Senior Jun fell. I've already buried him. This is his storage ring. After this junior opened it, I found out about his last words. This junior didn't touch any resources and only learned Senior Jun's afterimage. What he wanted the most was a piece of thunder core iron that he obtained. He hoped that I could bring it back so that Senior could forge a suitable weapon for it. Yishang took out Junyunan's storage ring and handed it to the white-haired woman. He missed me before he died. Yunan, I should have gone with you. The white-haired woman's voice was choked with sobs. At the same time she took the storage ring. My condolences. Now, Senior Jun's wish has been fulfilled. Night Sorrow said. The white-haired woman took out a piece of purple ore from the storage ring. Then she handed Junyunan's storage ring to Night Sorrow. I know him. His last words were for you to bring the thunder core iron back. These resources must be a gift to you. Even if you didn't come, no one would know and no one would say anything about you. Also, I'll remember your kindness for burying my late husband. Senior, you're too kind. Night Sorrow shook his head. He felt that Junyunan meant to give the resources to him, but it was more appropriate for him to leave it to someone else. Young man, take it. You entered the pavilion of heaven and earth for opportunities. This is also an opportunity. The Mount Wuling master said. Kind of. I learned Senior Jun's residual shadow body. It's already an opportunity. Night Sorrow said. You're a good young man. Let's skip the formalities. The Mount Wuling villa owes you a favor. The Mount Wuling master said. After the matter was settled, Night Sorrow planned to leave. He still had to deal with the Qing Emperor's matter. The Mount Wuling master sent Datura and Night Sorrow to the teleportation formation. Brother Tang, Sister Tang, Night Sorrow still has something to do. I'll visit you another day. After arriving at the Black Yellow City and exiting the teleportation formation, Night Sorrow cupped his hands in front of his chest to Tang Bo and Tang Yi. Speak. Chapter 1327. Unsealed Words. Why don't you stay for a few more days? Tang Bo was getting anxious. Brother Tang, I'll definitely come when I have time. This time, I found the elixir and I'm in a hurry to go back and treat Master, Night Sorrow said. In that case, I won't keep you. Just come when you have time, Tang Bo said after hearing Night Sorrow's words. All right, I'll be waiting for Brother Tang and Senior Sister Tang at the Nine Chong Pagoda, Night Sorrow said to Tang Bo and Tang Yi. Tang Bo and Tang Yi both nodded. They both understood that Night Sorrow was indeed in a hurry. I was going to invite you to the Sea King Palace as a guest, but you have urgent matters to attend to, so I can't keep you. Ai Ling also came. Friends don't last forever. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Hai Ling. Hai Ling nodded. If you need help, you can come to me. After cupping his hands at them again, Night Sorrow and Dachura teleported to Samsara City and then to the Nine Chong Pagoda again. Did it work? Dachura asked at this time. Yes, we did. This time we gained a lot. Night Sorrow told Dachura about this time's harvest. Heavenly Tao. I've never heard of it, but the origin of the bound of universe won't lie. It should work. Dachura was also very happy. For many years, the Dark Abyss and the Qing Emperor's dynasty had been at war. They were rivals but not enemies. She didn't want the Qing Emperor to fall. Most importantly, Dachura knew that Night Sorrow had always blamed himself in his heart. If this problem was not solved, it would always be a knot in his heart. Aluo, you've worked hard during this time. Night Sorrow looked at Dachura and said, There's no need for such words between us. The situation is stable now, but it's a bit stifling. Now that you're back, you should see how to deal with it. We have to open up the situation. They're too despicable, Dachura said. Alright, I plan to go to Seven Night City. Aluo, are you coming? Night Sorrow asked. I won't go. Let the Qing Emperor have some peace. He doesn't want others to see him now. He is the Qing Emperor, Dachura said. Night Sorrow nodded and sent Dachura to the teleportation circle with Summer City, who had discovered his return. Uncle Summer, let's go. Night Sorrow nodded at Summer City and entered the teleportation circle. Your Highness, is it done? Summer City asked excitedly. It's done. Night Sorrow nodded. He was also very happy. After teleporting to Seven Night City, Night Sorrow went to the small lakeside house. In the small lakeside house, Jun Xuanji was making tea while the Qing Emperor and Misty Rain were talking. Seeing Night Sorrow return, the Qing Emperor nodded at Night Sorrow. Misty Rain pulled out a chair beside him and nodded at Summer City. Night Sorrow, sit beside Master's wife. Summer City, you sit too. Master, disciple has gained something this time. Although I didn't obtain the enlightened Tao, I obtained the heavenly Tao, which is more effective than the enlightened Tao. The origin of the profound yellow world said that a leaf is equivalent to the enlightened Tao. It can repair damaged dantian and meridians. Next, Night Sorrow plucked a leaf from the heavenly Tao and handed it to the Qing Emperor. Master, quickly eat it. Otherwise the spirit qi will dissipate. Holding the heavenly Tao leaf, the Qing Emperor nodded and swallowed it. After swallowing the heavenly Tao leaf, an indescribable aura appeared on the Qing Emperor's body. Master will go meditate. After nodding at Night Sorrow, the Qing Emperor returned to the small lakeside house. Master's wife, if everything goes well, Master will Wuyo's life and his strength will also recover. However, he will still have to endure the poisonous centipede's poison. Night Sorrow said. Your master is not a delicate person. He suffered a lot when he was young, so he cultivated a good temperament. Pain is nothing to him. It's good that he is alive, not to mention recovering his strength. It's been hard on you this time. Misty Rain said as she looked at the pavilion where the Qing Emperor was meditating. Xuanji, give me the latest information later. During this time they have been jumping around happily. I will deal with them later. Night Sorrow said. Jun Xuanji nodded. She knew Night Sorrow's temper. He would not cause trouble, but if someone provoked him he would not let it go. After that, Night Sorrow went to the city in the sky and met Father Gu, his parents, wife and children. After having dinner with his family, he returned to the Nine Chong building. After knowing that Night Sorrow had returned, the morale of the Qing Emperor's dynasty instantly soared. This was because the invincible commander had appeared. The officials and princes all arrived at Night Sorrow's place to report the situation of the association. Qing Lin and Qing Wan also arrived. It's been hard on everyone these days. Night Sorrow said. The officials all shook their heads. Qing Wan said that it was all thanks to Jun Xuanji that they could stabilize the situation. After that, Night Sorrow told everyone to calm down first. He would make arrangements for the following matters. On D6. Everyone left except for Qing Lin and Qing Wan. Sister, why aren't you going back? Qing Lin asked Qing Wan. Brother, why aren't you leaving? Qing Wan asked Qing Lin. After hesitating for a moment, Qing Lin said, I have something to tell junior brother. Don't hide good things. What else is there that I can't hear? Qing Wan replied directly. She had no intention of leaving. Senior brother, please speak your mind. I'll do what I can. Even if I can't, I'll think of a way. Night Sorrow said. I just want to ask you something. Is Xuanji married? Qing Lin asked after hesitating for a moment. Night Sorrow smiled. He understood what Qing Lin was thinking. His answer was to let Qing Lin ask him himself. Qing Lin smiled. Since junior brother said so, I have an answer. I used to have a wife, but she didn't enter the king's dynasty. She left after leaving behind 2 children. Now that I have some feelings, I just don't know if it's suitable. I'll have to think about it. Night Sorrow looked at Qing Wan. Senior sister, tell me. Who do you like? Don't provoke those with families. We can't do anything immoral. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Qing Wan slammed the table. What are you talking about? What immoral thing have I done? I just want to ask you. What's the situation in the Heaven and Earth Pavilion? Is it as dirty as you think? Imperial younger sister, you're in the wrong here. Do you think that love between a man and a woman is dirty? Junior brother is right. We can't do anything immoral, Qing Lin said with a smile. I can't be bothered with the 2 of you. Qing Wan glared at Night Sorrow and Qing Lin before getting up and leaving. Junior brother, your senior sister is not bad. If you want, you can tell father and mother. Qing Lin said with a smile. Senior brother, you can't joke about this. That's my senior sister. Night Sorrow said seriously. Yes, Qing Wan is your senior sister. I remember that both your wives are your senior sisters. You're her killer. Qing Lin said. What are you talking about? I don't want to talk to you anymore. You won't understand. I'm going to find Uncle Shen Daozi to do something. Night Sorrow stood up. Okay. Let me know if you need anything. Qing Lin also stood up. After sending Qing Lin off, Night Sorrow didn't wait for Shen Daozi to find him. Instead, Shen Daozi and Shengguan Hong came to the 9-layer pavilion. Speak. Chapter 1328. Night Sorrow wanted to find Shen Daozi because of the Heavenly Dao Divine artifact, the Haotian Divine Pagoda. Shen Daozi had said before that he would perform a divination for him. In the beginning, it was because Shen Daozi had divined the body of virtue in the 9 regions world, so he couldn't continue. Later, Shen Daozi could, but Night Sorrow brought the Pagoda of Time and Space into the Reincarnation Palace to cultivate, so he couldn't come out. Night Sorrow planned to use the Pagoda of Time and Space to trouble Shen Daozi to find out where the missing part of the Pagoda of Time and Space was. Night Sorrow brought Shen Daozi and Shengguan Hong into the main hall of the 9-layer pagoda and poured tea for them. Your Highness, you've been gone for almost 2 years and we've been very bored. We feel like heroes are useless, Shen Daozi said. When the time comes, just don't say that you're tired, Night Sorrow said. Shen Daozi and Shengguan Hong shook their heads. They felt that they had no passion and were bored. When Night Sorrow was there, he fought and beat the celestial sect until they ran away like rats. Now, the Qing Emperor's dynasty was very stable, but they were very depressed. After all, they were provoked. Uncle Shen Daozi, I want to ask you for a favor, Night Sorrow said to Shen Daozi. Your Highness is too polite. What is it? Your Highness, please tell me. Shen Daozi's attitude was very righteous. Uncle Shen Daozi, you know how this storm started. I want to know where the missing part of the Pagoda of Time and Space is, Night Sorrow said. Yes, but it will be in 3 days. I'll make some preparations. In 3 days, Your Highness will go to the Qing Emperor's palace. Shen Daozi cupped his hands to Night Sorrow, then left the 9-layer pagoda. Uncle Xia, is this very troublesome? He looked at Summer City and asked. That's right, said Summer City. You need to burn incense, bathe and calm your mind. Divination is harmful to your own Dao, and many people don't want to learn it. Shen Daozi felt that his potential had been exhausted, which was why he chose to practice divination. Instead, he made some progress. Now, he needs to make some preparations to avoid the wrath of heaven. If I'd known, I wouldn't have said anything. I've caused Uncle Shen Daozi so much trouble. Night Sorrow felt somewhat apologetic. What trouble? He relies on this to make a living. He's a wily old fox. No problem, Shengguan Hong said. After resting in the 9 grand floors for 3 days, Night Sorrow, Summer City, and Shengguan Hong went to the Qing Emperor's palace, and then to Shen Daozi's astrology platform. At this moment, Shen Daozi was wearing hemp robes and a bronze crown. Your Highness, it's done. Shen Daozi, seated cross-legged on a prayer mat, nodded to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow took out the space-time pagoda and placed it in front of Xiandaozi. After that, Summer City and Shangguanhong brought Night Sorrow outside to wait. At this time Xiandaozi could not be disturbed. Night Sorrow and the others made tea and waited. 4 hours later, Xiandaozi emerged and returned the space-time pagoda to Night Sorrow. Your Highness, the results of the divination are not very clear. There is no specific direction or location. This is the image. Your subordinate will leave the image here. Your Highness, take it. If you see this image, you must pay attention. The space-time pagoda's flaw is here. Xiandaozi took out a crystal ball and handed it to Night Sorrow. Holding the crystal ball, Night Sorrow saw the image inside. Beneath the starry sky was a mountain, and below the mountain was a winding river. Night Sorrow had never seen such a scene before. Thank you for your hard work, Uncle Xiandaozi. Night Sorrow poured a cup of tea for Xiandaozi. A heavenly Tao divine artifact is not easy to divine. The interference is too great and I am unable to complete the details. This is the best I can do. There was an apologetic look on Xiandaozi's face. Uncle Xiandaozi, you are too polite. Thank you for your hard work, Night Sorrow said. It's nothing. Just a few days of rest. Additionally, you cannot divine for the next 3 years because even divination is not effective, Xiandaozi said. After that, Night Sorrow brought Xiandaozi and the others to a restaurant for a meal. Xiandaozi went to rest while Night Sorrow returned to 9-layered building. After that, Night Sorrow and Summer City teleported to 7-Night City. Night Sorrow and Summer City were both worried about Qing Emperor's situation. When they arrived at the lakeside building in 7-Night City, Night Sorrow saw Misty Rain pacing back and forth with his hands behind his back. Master's wife, Master hasn't come out of seclusion yet? Night Sorrow asked. No, he has been meditating. However, there are energy fluctuations coming from his body. That is a good thing, Misty Rain said. Master's wife, there is no need to worry. The essence of a great world would not lie. If he says there is no problem, then there is no problem, Night Sorrow said. Although he was a little anxious, he still believed in the effects of the heavenly Tao. Misty Rain nodded. She knew how much Night Sorrow had spent on Qing Emperor's matter. Half a month later, Qing Emperor came out of seclusion. After coming out, Qing Emperor punched the air, causing an energy vortex to churn in the air. I have 30% of my cultivation, Qing Emperor said, looking at his fist. How can it be 30%? Master, your dantian and meridians have not been repaired yet? Night Sorrow asked. They have been repaired. The damage in my body has also been repaired. However, my dantian was destroyed by the puppet's destructive energy. My dantian and meridians have been repaired, but it will take time to cultivate the energy back. Now that I have recovered 30%, it is already very good. Give me some time and I will be able to fully recover my cultivation. Qing Emperor was very satisfied with the current results. Master, with your cultivation, you can suppress the evil venomous centipede. Night Sorrow was very happy to hear Qing Emperor's words. Although the evil venomous centipede has not been solved, it can be suppressed. There will be no problems in the future. Don't worry. Give me some time and all the troubles will be no trouble. Qing Emperor was also very happy to feel that his dantian and meridians were fine. There is more. Master, this is the elixir I refined. Night Sorrow took out the Thunder Pattern Soft Jade Tendon Elixir. Thunder Pattern Soft Jade Tendon Elixir. What kind of elixir is this? Qing Emperor asked in surprise when he saw the elixir that Night Sorrow took out. Soft Jade Tendon Elixir. It is an elixir that strengthens the meridians. Night Sorrow explained the effect of the Soft Jade Tendon Elixir. Good. Master will accept it. Qing Emperor nodded with a smile. Master's wife, I don't have any good gifts for you. Here are 3 drops of Soul Cultivation Elixir. Night Sorrow took out a small bottle and handed it to Misty Rain. Ah. Master's wife appreciates your kindness. In the past, your master obtained a drop of Soul Cultivation Elixir. Master's wife and a few people in Summer City have used it. You can keep it. Misty Rain said. Master's wife, please accept this Thunder Pattern Soft Jade Tendon Elixir. Night Sorrow took out a Thunder Pattern Soft Jade Tendon Elixir. After thinking for a while, Misty Rain accepted it. However, when Night Sorrow gave it to Summer City and Shangguanhong rejected it. They only wanted ordinary elixirs. They didn't want the Thunder Pattern Soft Jade Tendon Elixir. Night Sorrow had no choice but to take out 2 ordinary elixirs. Unique %V original / version Q**. They were all pirated. Master, do you know how many Heaven Master level puppets the Celestial Sect has? Night Sorrow asked. The second update has arrived. There will be an explosion of 10 updates today. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your unblocking yesterday. Chapter 1329. Unsealed? Not many. Last time I destroyed one. Of the ones they took out, there are only 3 left, the Qing Emperor said. A few days ago when I came out of the Heaven and Earth Pavilion, the Celestial Sect sent a giant puppet to kill me. However, it was killed by Datura. The elder died and the puppet was taken away by Datura, Night Sorrow said. Good. Their strength has been greatly reduced so they will be more obedient. However, Night Sorrow, you have to remember to not suppress them too much. If they feel that they are about to be destroyed, they will use that skeleton. We might not be able to withstand it, the Qing Emperor said. Master, we can't always be bullied by them because of this. Night Sorrow rubbed his forehead. Night Sorrow, things are relative. They shouldn't provoke us too much. If they do, then we have nothing to worry about. The Qing Emperor nodded to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow didn't say anything. He didn't care how powerful the other party's trump cards were. As long as they wanted to fight, he would accompany them to the end. Night Sorrow, what are you thinking about? Misty Rain looked at Night Sorrow, who was deep in thought, and asked. Master's wife, we don't have to worry too much. The 9 regions world where I came from will be a supreme world in the future. If the situation is bad, the Qing Emperor's dynasty will develop in the 9 regions world. Without my permission, the king can't enter the 9 regions world. So what if he has trump cards? I can stabilize the rear and then fight to the death with him, Night Sorrow said. Ah, you're right. We have a place to retreat so we can fight however we want. However, after they use up their trump cards, it will be the end of the Celestial Sect. Alright, you can arrange things as you see fit. Now we should return to the Qing Emperor's dynasty. I am not dead, so the Celestial Sect's momentum will fall. Qing Emperor made his decision. He wanted to recover his cultivation now. The Azure Sky Pavilion had 5 times the time acceleration, which was more convenient than in the 7-Night City. Yes, it's time to go back. It's also time to show our faces and let the Celestial Sect know that their plan has failed. Misty Rain nodded. Night Sorrow didn't object. Then they returned to the Qing Emperor's palace. Qing Emperor didn't keep a low profile when he showed up. Many people knew about it. The Qing Emperor had ruled the Qing Emperor's dynasty for many years. He was the faith of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. The appearance of the Qing Emperor excited everyone. The Qing Emperor's empire had 3 Heaven Masters. The Qing Emperor and Zhan Tan were both extremely powerful Heaven Masters. After meeting with the officials in the Qing Emperor's palace, the Qing Emperor announced that Night Sorrow would be in charge of the Qing Emperor's dynasty from now on. Master, it's no secret that I'm the world lord. In the 9 regions world, it's my world. I feel that the Qing Emperor's dynasty can develop a base in the 9 regions world. Night Sorrow looked at the Qing Emperor and said, You're right. You're the world lord. The 9 regions world is the safest place. Qing Shan, you'll be in charge of this matter. Remember, you can't disturb the 9 regions world. You're just building it up. Don't allow the cultivators of the Qing Emperor's dynasty to find opportunities and train in the 9 regions world. The Qing Emperor said. He knew that the 9 regions world had just become a high-grade world. It was still developing into a great world. If people messed around, it would prolong its evolution. Father, I'll take care of it. But what's the scale? Qing Shan bowed and asked. Large scale. As long as the dynasty's resources can support it, the scale should be larger. It can't exceed the situation of the 9 regions world's main city, Clear Sky City. The bigger the better. Azure Emperor said after thinking for a moment. He knew the situation of the 9-domain world. Yishang had a sovereign source, which meant that in the future the 9-domain world would be the 9-domain great worlds. It would be a prosperous place, so there would be no restrictions if they built it on a larger scale. Qing Shan was stunned. He didn't know why the Qing Emperor valued it so much. But since the Qing Emperor said so, he could only do as he was told. Night Sorrow, I'm going into seclusion. Your senior brother is also in seclusion. I'll leave the Qing Emperor's dynasty to you. But there are some things that don't need to be rushed. The Qing Emperor reminded Night Sorrow. Look at #original chapter. After the officials left, Night Sorrow was called to the Azure Sky Pavilion by the Qing Emperor. The Qing Emperor's dynasty is a struggle between forces. It's the situation. The improvement of your own strength is also very important. It's your personal achievement. You can't slack off. In addition, this is the formation I've studied in the past 2 years. It's my highest achievement in the formation these years. It's called the 9 Serenities Slaughtering Divine Dragon Tiger Formation. The Qing Emperor gave Knight Sorrow a formation map. Thank you, Master. I plan to continue my seclusion and cultivate. My doppelganger will deal with some things, Knight Sorrow said. Okay, you can do as you see fit. The Qing Emperor actually had the same idea. He hoped that his disciple would have achievements in both the management of forces and his own strength. The Qing Emperor went into seclusion. Knight Sorrow went out of the Azure Sky Pavilion. Knight Sorrow, you plan to go to the Samsara Palace. I'll send you there, Misty Rain said. Knight Sorrow nodded. He knew that this was the Elder's kind intention. He left enough resources for his own body and gave the rest to his doppelganger. Then he went to the Samsara city with the Ice Dragon's blood essence and elixirs and entered the Samsara Palace with Misty Rain. The origin of the Samsara Palace asked Knight Sorrow about his trip to the Heaven and Earth Pavilion. Knight Sorrow told it everything. For the sake of your master, you have no other choice. In fact, I have the same idea as him. We are both looking for a way out for ourselves. You can get the resources to heal your master's injuries. It can be considered as resolving a knot in your heart. Work hard from now on, said the origin of Samsara Palace after hearing Yishang's words. Knight Sorrow's own body entered the pagoda of time and space to cultivate. This trip to the Heaven and Earth Pavilion was the biggest gain of the Way of Heaven, but Knight Sorrow's state of mind and soul had also improved a lot. After sending Knight Sorrow's own body to the Samsara Palace, Misty Rain went to the Jianghu building again. Mistress, this is the Thunder Pattern Soft Jade Tendon Elixir. Take it. These are for your other senior brothers and sisters. Knight Sorrow took out 6 ordinary soft jade tendon elixirs. In fact, the princes who had not been conferred the title of Highness were not Knight Sorrow's senior brothers. Knight Sorrow just called them that. Then I'll take them. Everyone wants their children to be successful. This is the heart of a parent, Misty Rain said. Mistress, I don't have the ability to obtain the white tiger blood at the moment. It will take some time, Knight Sorrow said. Your master is the Azure the Arch. His life is not in danger and his cultivation can still be recovered. The evil dragon poison centipede won't be able to do anything to him. You don't have to worry. Just focus on your cultivation first, said Heavenly Lord Yufei. Then Knight Sorrow began to refine elixirs. He wanted to refine a batch of resources for the members of the God-slaying team, including the soft jade tendon elixir. After half a month, Knight Sorrow finished refining the elixirs. However, guests from the Jianghu building also came to the Jianghu building. They were guests from the Xuanhuan Great World. Junhua came first, followed by Hai Ling. They all felt that they owed Knight Sorrow a favor. Knight Sorrow received the 2 of them at the Jianghu building. Junhua, how is your aunt? Knight Sorrow asked. Very good. She's currently a blacksmith. My uncle hopes that my aunt will have a handy weapon, Junhua said. Tell me. Chapter 1330. Unseal? Find someone to refine weapons. What kind of weapons? Yishan asked. A weapon with thunder property. The highest level of craftsman in Wuling Villa is a mid-level Heaven Master craftsman. That's not enough. My aunt wants us to make a high-level king weapon so that we can live up to my uncle's efforts, Junhua said. Your Highness, why don't you make it for us? Lanning said. She and Hongyi used to call him Young Master Knight Sorrow, but now they called him Your Highness. Brother Yi, can you make high-level king weapons? Junhua looked at Knight Sorrow in surprise. I can, but I'm worried that I won't ask my aunt for help, Knight Sorrow said. Okay, wait here. I'll go back and tell my aunt. I already owe you a favor anyway, Junhua stood up and said. After Yishang sent Junhua away, he spoke to Hai Ling. I'm very grateful for this trip to Heaven and Earth Pavilion. You really helped me a lot, Hai Ling said. Actually, it's nothing. Even if we didn't meet or team up, you'll just have fewer resources, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. It's not like that. Other resources are resources, but the rootless grass is not a resource for me. It's my future. Because of congenital reasons, my veins are narrower. It's fine in the early stage, but when I reach the level of 8-star king, the drawbacks appear. I can't support the flow of energy. Before I entered Heaven and Earth Pavilion, I was at the peak of 8-star king level. The energy I could use was only at the mid-level of 8-star king level. If I didn't solve it, no matter how much I improved, the energy in my body wouldn't be able to improve. Now that this drawback has been solved, I'm very grateful to you, Hai Ling said. It's really nothing. Since you can come here, then we're friends. Since we're friends, then let's be polite. Then I won't bother with the pleasantries. Red Robe, tell Chief Steward he to prepare a banquet and entertain the guests tonight, said Yishang. All right, then I won't be courteous with you. Also, I know that you're a heavenly master alchemist. Are you also a heavenly master craftsman? Hai Ling looked at Night Sorrow with doubt in her eyes. This was because she had personally witnessed Night Sorrow concocting pills, and it was even a Thundermark level pill. Now that Night Sorrow had told Junhua that he could refine high-level king equipment, she was rather shocked. I've dabbled a little, but I'm still self-sufficient, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Amazing. This is a gift from my grandfather after he used the soft jade tendon pill. Hai Ling took out a storage ring. P-up, Hailing, this isn't appropriate. We were teammates at that time and I naturally did what I could for my teammates. So there's no need to thank me. You still need to give me a thank you gift, Night Sorrow refused. You gave me a pill and fulfilled your promise. You saved me and fulfilled your friendship as a teammate, so it's only right to thank me. Hai Ling didn't take back the storage ring. If you treat me as a friend, then take it back. You really don't have to do this, Night Sorrow said. Seeing that Night Sorrow didn't accept it, Hai Ling was helpless. She knew that Night Sorrow knew that this thank you gift wouldn't be light, but there was nothing she could do if he didn't accept it. Since we're friends, then there's nothing messy. I'll take you around later, Night Sorrow said. While they were talking, Junhua brought Jun Yunan's wife to the Nine Chong building. Her surname was Wen, and her name was Wen Yu. Night Sorrow, you can refine weapons? Wen Yu sat down and asked. Junhua, how should I address you? Night Sorrow looked at Junhua. I don't know either. Qing Emperor and my master are of the same generation. You and my aunt are of the same generation, but what about me? You'll be at a disadvantage if you call me aunt, Junhua said. Then I'll call you aunt. Aunt, tell me your requirements and draw a blueprint. I'll see if it works. If it works, I'll help you refine it. If it doesn't work, then I'll have to ask a heavenly master to refine it, Night Sorrow said. At the same time, Hong Yi brought over a pen and paper. Wen Yu nodded and drew the blueprint. My requirements aren't high. I'm a cultivator of the lightning attribute. You can see how you can refine it. I won't mind if others refine it, but you can refine it however you want because you helped complete my late husband's dying wish, Wen Yu said. Then please wait, Auntie. I'll see how I can refine it. Night Sorrow said. He had studied the 9 Hell Slaughtering God formation some time ago. There were lightning attribute formations in it, but he wanted to see which one was most suitable. Night Sorrow asked again and found out that Wen Yu's main attribute was Black Demon Lightning and her secondary attribute was Wind. Night Sorrow studied lightning attribute formations in the Time-Space Treasure Pagoda for 20 days. He felt that engraving the 9-9 Wind and Thunder formation in the weapon he was going to refine for Wen Yu. The 9-9 Wind and Thunder formation was a compound formation. It used the lightning attribute as the core and the wind attribute as the support. When he felt that it was enough, Night Sorrow started refining in the small martial arts arena of the 9 grand floors. The materials were naturally Wen Yu. The main material was Thunder Core Iron. Night Sorrow had many experiences in refining high-grade king-tier weapons. Refining a high-grade king-tier longsword was not difficult at all. However, there were many people watching. After 3 days, Night Sorrow finished refining the sword. He then took out the teeth of the Windfire Dragon and made the gloves. They were wind attribute gloves. After asking Wen Yu for her blood essence, Night Sorrow quenched the weapon and combined the blood essence with the weapon. The weapon was completed. The white jade-like gloves were made from dragon teeth. The purple crystal-like sword body was made from Thunder Core Iron. Andy, take a look. If there's anything you're not satisfied with, I can modify it. Night Sorrow handed the long sword to Wen Yu with both hands. After receiving the long sword, Wen Yu immediately connected with the long sword. She knew that this was a high-grade king-tier long sword. It was mainly lightning attribute with the wind attribute as the support. Wen Yu tried waving it twice. Immediately, the long sword was filled with lightning snakes. It's too perfect. I never thought that I could forge such a long sword. It's too suitable for me. Wen Yu was a little excited. This weapon was a form of sustenance for her. Of course, the higher the level and the more suitable it was for her, the better. The weapon refined by Night Sorrow satisfied these 2 points. Night Sorrow, what did you add to make the sword hilt? Junhua asked. That's a Windfire Dragon's tooth. It's a king-tier weapon. It won't disgrace this weapon. Auntie, because you have the wind attribute, I added it without permission. I think it's very suitable. Night Sorrow said. You're helping me refine the weapon and you're even providing the materials? How can that be? After hearing Night Sorrow's words, when you knew that it was a little inappropriate, Jun Yunan didn't take the Night Sorrow left behind by Night Sorrow. Now that he was providing the materials to refine the weapon, it didn't make sense. Andy, it's nothing. Let's not talk about Senior Junhua and I are friends. Night Sorrow said. These are two different things. Night Sorrow, you're generous and have principles. But I'm also a person with principles. When you shook her head. Speak. Chapter 1331. What was Wen Yu's background? Her father was a tycoon, and she was the young master of Wuling Villa. How could she take advantage of Night Sorrow? She took out 2 stones. This is the Destruction Stone. It can be used to refine weapons and set up formations. Take it and study it, but don't hurt yourself. When you took out 2 stones, but they were wrapped in energy because the destructive energy would hurt others and oneself. Auntie, I really don't need this. Night Sorrow said and shook his head. Night Sorrow, take it. My auntie is an elder. How could she take advantage of you? That thing is good. My master has it. I've been eyeing it for a long time, but I didn't get it. Junhua said with a smile. You can't refuse an elder's gift. It's not appropriate for you not to accept it. She will always feel that she owes you. Sometimes letting others feel at ease is also a good deed. Misty Rain said. Night Sorrow nodded and accepted it because Misty Rain was right. He didn't think it through. Thank you, Misty Rain. When you bowed to Misty Rain, she knew that women understood women the best. Night Sorrow was kind, but he didn't understand her thoughts. You're welcome. Come often in the future. Misty Rain nodded with a smile. When you nodded, she stayed in the 9-story tower for 2 days and felt that the atmosphere here was very good. It was full of vitality. Even the Tycoon Yufei monarch was talking and laughing here. Summer City and Shangguanhong were the same. Many people put on airs when they reached the senior king level in order to accumulate power, let alone the monarch and tycoon. But it was not like this in the 9-story tower. I'm sorry that I didn't treat everyone well these few days because I was studying formations. Night Sorrow said. It's okay. You don't have to be so polite. Brother Yi, why didn't I see your family? Didn't you see your sisters? Ailing asked. She was referring to Night Sorrow's wife. The world of samsara is too chaotic these days. Several forces are fighting with the Qing Emperor's dynasty. I was worried about the danger, so I didn't let them come. Night Sorrow said. If you need support, just say the word. I'll talk to Lord Father and see if we can form an alliance. Although we are not in the same great world, having an ally in the other side's great world is not bad, Wen Yu said. Thank you for your kindness, Auntie. We're fine now, but we're still in the limelight, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, I've always wanted to ask you something. I don't think it's appropriate to ask, but I won't ask. His heart itched. Have you made it to the end of the Heaven and Earth Pavilion? Junhua asked. Hee, I'm also very concerned about this topic, but I'm too embarrassed to ask. I'm afraid it's inappropriate, Hailing said with a smile. I've made it to the end. The Heaven and Earth Pavilion has a total of 33 levels. However, the later levels are indeed very difficult. Didn't I make it to the end? It's indeed very dangerous. If I'm not careful, I'll be doomed eternally. Night Sorrow nodded. He couldn't lie to his friends. Then what heavenly artifact did you get? Junhua asked excitedly. You know that I didn't go there for the heavenly artifact. Also, I'm only allowed to make one request in the Heaven and Earth Pavilion. If I pass the test, I'll be able to fulfill it, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, you gave up the heavenly artifact for the Tao? Misty Rain looked at Night Sorrow in shock. Nothing is more important than Master's health, Night Sorrow said. But your Master has other opportunities, and the opportunity to obtain a heavenly Tao artifact is very rare. It's almost non-existent. Heavenly Monarch Yufei's heart was touched because Yi Shang had sacrificed a lot. Mistress, you're thinking too much. It's nothing. On the 33rd level, under the control of the Heaven and Earth Pavilion's artifact spirit, I fell into an environment and experienced 100 lifetimes. I understood my shortcomings and flaws in life, and my mental state and soul were perfected. This is the greatest gain, Night Sorrow said with a smile. He was indeed very satisfied with the tempering of his mental state and soul during this trip to the Heaven and Earth Pavilion. What's going on with 100 lifetimes? Junhua asked because he had never heard of it. The origin of the Heaven and Earth Pavilion said that if one's mental state is lacking, one will be immersed in it and never wake up. There is only 100 lifetimes to wake up and comprehend. I was lucky. During my 100th lifetime, I understood what I wanted and what I had to do, Night Sorrow said. Forever. Free look, small, equal speak. Night Sorrow did not mention some details. The origin of the Heaven and Earth Pavilion had said that it was not good to comprehend in advance. One would not be able to understand the true meaning of life. Only by comprehending 99 lifetimes and 100 lifetimes would one be perfect. 9 by 9 lifetimes and 100 lifetimes were in line with the truth of 9 by 9 lifetimes. This has nothing to do with strength. It can't be controlled. Junhua said. Yes, it's a test of human nature. It's also a test of luck. Night Sorrow said. The 33rd level. I only reached the 10th level and almost lost my life. You reached the 33rd level. The difference is really immeasurable, Junhua said with some emotion. Night Sorrow, if you go again in 3 million years and ask for the heavenly artifact, you'll make a fortune, Hailing said excitedly. I don't plan to go again. I got what I wanted in the Heaven and Earth Pavilion. I'm satisfied and satisfied. It's better to leave those for the future, Night Sorrow said with a smile. In terms of cultivation level and temperament, you far surpass other youngsters. When you admired Yishang very much, because no one else would have such a temperament. Then a banquet was held in the Nine Chong building. Misty Rain also attended. After all, Hai Ling and Wen Yu were the descendants of Heaven Pillar. Misty Rain was considered an elder and should receive them. After staying for 2 days, Hai Ling, Junhua, and Wen Yu said that they wanted to go out for a walk. Night Sorrow could do his own things. Night Sorrow reminded them not to go to the Celestial Sect, Burning Heaven Tower and Black Fiend Valley. Those were the opponents of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. The other places did not matter. After the guests left, Night Sorrow said goodbye to Misty Rain and returned to the city in the sky. The harvest this time was huge. Night Sorrow naturally gave some resources to his wife and parents. Then he stayed with his family for a while. He also told Long Xianxing and Xiaolanjun, who were in charge of the Nine Regions world, that the Qing Emperor's dynasty was going to build a city. This is a good thing for our Nine Regions world. For the Nine Regions world to develop into a large world, there must be foreign cultivators. Only by interacting with each other can we improve. Long Xianxing said. He was more willing to see such a situation. Xiaolanjun was also supportive. They knew that as long as Night Sorrow was around, the Nine Regions world would not collapse. It would stand tall between the heavens and earth. You guys should go out for a walk too. You're already at the peak of the Saint King realm. If you work harder, you'll be a king. Only a king can be eternal. Night Sorrow said to Long Xianxing and Xiaolanjun. He also hoped that the people of the Nine Regions world could achieve something. He worked hard for his family and the stability of the Nine Regions world. Chapter 1332. Night Sorrow then went to Heaven Tiger Pass to give the God-slaying team a batch of resources, including soft jade tendon pills, before returning to Nine Chong Pavilion. Everything at home is settled. You must have brought back a lot of resources from Nine Domain World, Misty Rain said with a smile. She knew Night Sorrow very well. It can't be helped. Nine Domain World's foundation is low, so we have to work hard. After a while, some people will grow up, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow then asked Misty Rain where he could get a treasure that could accelerate time. He had used the Pagoda of Time. Now that there were no treasures that could accelerate cultivation in Sky City, many people could only use their lives to cultivate, which was a bit of a waste of time. The auction house that's going to Samsara City should have treasures that can accelerate time by 5 times. If it's 6 times or 10 times, the price will be outrageous. Many of them will barter with other items and won't charge Saint Spirit stones, said Heavenly Monarch Yufei. Disciple plans to create a floating city in the Nine Regions world and let them do as they please. That way I'll be at ease, Night Sorrow said. It's the fortune of your family to have a family like you. It's the fortune of the cultivators of Nine Domain World to have a realm lord like you. It's also a blessing for your master to have a disciple like you. Misty Rain was a bit emotional because Night Sorrow had a magnanimity that others didn't have. I'm going to buy some things on the way. Master's wife, come with me. I don't know what the materials are and what the price is, Night Sorrow said. Sure. I'll go with you. Misty Rain nodded with a smile. Night Sorrow sorted out the materials and went to the biggest auction house in Samsara City. This was the business of Samsara City and was jointly managed by many elders. The commission collected was also used for the daily maintenance of Samsara City. The only authentic one? Everyone was a pirated one. The current city lord of Samsara City was nicknamed Heavenly Lord of Thunderfire. He was a recognized expert. He didn't belong to any sect or family. He only had a few sons who didn't call themselves kings. Therefore he had been the city lord for many years. Qing Emperor was one of the elders of Samsara City. Misty Rain brought Night Sorrow into the auction house and someone came to receive them. "I want to see Director Meng," Misty Rain said. The receptionist was stunned for a moment before she went to report. She knew that the person who had come was a big shot. She was a 6-star sovereign king, and she could not see through his cultivation. That meant that he was a heaven pillar giant. Furthermore, Steward Meng did not easily receive people. Not everyone knew about this person. After a while, an elder appeared. "Misty Rain is here. What a rare guest." Other than the supplies for Samsara City, the auction house also has some income. Qing Emperor's dynasty didn't come to collect it. "Since Misty Rain is here, I'll go and settle the accounts." The elder was very polite. He was a monarch and had to keep a low profile in front of a big shot. Besides, Qing Emperor's dynasty was very prestigious in the world of Samsara. "You're too polite, Director Meng. I'm not here for that. I'm here to do some business with my disciple," Misty Rain said. The Qing Emperor's disciple was his disciple. "Are you Qing Emperor's disciple?" Director Meng looked at Night Sorrow and said. Night Sorrow greets Director Meng. Night Sorrow saluted Director Meng. "You're too polite. I know the name of the invincible commander, His Highness Yi Shang. Is Your Highness Yi Shang interested in bidding for something?" Manager Meng asked. "It's not an auction. I want to barter with a magic treasure that can accelerate time. The more the better." Night Sorrow told him his purpose. It's hard to find a magic treasure that can accelerate time. Monarchs with less than 5 times can refine it. Only a big shot can refine one with 5 times the time, and the materials are hard to find. Magic treasures with more than 5 times the time may be innate treasures, found in other worlds, or left by predecessors, Elder Meng said. "Then I'll take out something first." Elder Meng can estimate the difference in value, Night Sorrow said. Then Night Sorrow asked Elder Meng to find a spacious place. Night Sorrow took out the fiery dragon's body. Although the dragon skin is damaged, the dragon tendons and dragon bones are intact. "Elder Meng, can you estimate the value?" "A monarch-level fiery wind dragon. It's rare that the bones are intact. Most of the dragon skin can be used and the dragon tendons are intact." "Your Highness, are the dragon gallbladder and dragon pearl here?" Director Meng asked. "Apart from the essence blood and heart blood, I'm not selling the fiery wind dragon. Everything else is here. However, I'm not selling. I'm bartering," Night Sorrow said. "Enough. The fiery wind dragon's dragon bones, dragon tendons, and dragon skin can be exchanged for a magic treasure that can accelerate time by 5 times. However, the dragon gallbladder and dragon pearl will be more powerful. Of course, if anyone wants to trade, they'll have to complement each other in terms of value," Director Meng said. "Elixirs. I'll bid for some other elixirs. I'll only trade for life spirit fluid or supreme-grade alchemy materials," Night Sorrow said. Then Night Sorrow took out the glazed golden pill, Yin Spirit pill, and 2 longevity limitless elixirs that he had refined. "Alright, these are all supreme-grade elixirs. The auction will start in 2 months. Misty Rain and Your Highness can come. Some cultivators will negotiate with us in the past. We'll only take 1/10 of the commission," Elder Meng said. "Alright. I'll also trade this for materials." Night Sorrow took out the 2-headed Icefire WRM skeleton. Apart from the Icefire WRM's core, everything else was intact. It's a monarch-level beast skeleton. Not bad. It's worth a lot. Elder Meng's face was full of excitement because supreme-grade materials were hard to come by. "I don't want Holy Spirit stones. I'm just bartering," Night Sorrow emphasized again. He had no shortage of Holy Spirit stones at the moment. Director Meng nodded. He naturally understood that Holy Spirit stones were no longer needed at a certain level. Night Sorrow and Misty Rain didn't stay any longer and left directly. They left the items behind. The Reincarnation Auction Company had a good reputation. Besides, Night Sorrow was the highness of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. No one dared to take advantage of the Qing Emperor's resources. It would be a slap in the face and the result would be a battle. No one didn't believe in the guts of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. No one dared to touch the celestial sect. The Qing Emperor still killed Zhang Taiyang, who sought refuge. This was courage and guts. Whoever provoked him wouldn't be easily dealt with. After Night Sorrow and Misty Rain left, Director Meng arrived at the city lord's mansion. He had to report this matter to the city lord. He was actually a follower of the heavenly lord of Thunderfire. The items that Night Sorrow took out were all very good. He naturally had to ask the heavenly lord of Thunderfire if he needed them. Many things would affect the balance, personal development, and the development of forces. Supreme-grade materials were hard to come by. If he missed it, he would miss it. Director Meng was the director of the auction company. He was also a channel for the heavenly lord of Thunderfire to collect supreme-grade materials. Chapter 1333. Samsara City was the #1 city in the world of Samsara. The city lord's mansion was naturally extravagant, covering thousands of square miles. In a small courtyard in the wild garden of the city lord's mansion, Manager Meng met the Heaven Lord of Thunderfire. The Heaven Lord of Thunderfire was in a red robe. His hair was red and his eyebrows were also red. His eyes were full of flames. "What's the matter? Is there anything good in the auction house?" The Heaven Lord of Thunderfire asked Manager Meng. "The skeleton of a monarch-level wind fire dragon, except for its blood, everything else is here. A monarch-level two-headed ice fire dragon, except for its ice fire dragon core, everything else is here. In addition, there are also soft jade tendons and bones elixirs that can strengthen a cultivator's dantian and tendons, yun spirit elixir that can increase a cultivator's aptitude, and longevity limitless elixir that can increase a cultivator's lifespan," Manager Meng reported. "Every one of them is a treasure. Who sent them? Did you follow them?" The Heaven Lord of Thunderfire stood up because the situation had attracted his attention. "No. It's Misty Rain from the Qing Emperor's dynasty. The person who took out the goods is Prince Night Sorrow from the Qing Emperor's dynasty," Manager Meng said. He already knew that they were from the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Even if he didn't know, he wouldn't dare to follow them. The dignity of a Sky Master couldn't be blasphemed. If he was found, he would be killed in vain, even if he was the servant of the Heaven Lord of Thunderfire. First of all, the Qing Emperor's dynasty wasn't afraid of the Heaven Lord of Thunderfire. Even in terms of strength, the Heaven Lord of Thunderfire was not good enough. Besides, it was disrespectful to follow and investigate a Sky Master. The Qing Emperor's dynasty. The Qing Emperor's dynasty is not to be trifled with. Qing Shangjuan, who was severely injured, has shown up again. Although he is not in good condition, it is true that his cultivation has recovered. Sandalwood has entered the Sky Master realm, and her strength is far beyond ordinary Sky Masters. In addition, Misty Rain has returned. You just do things according to the rules. Did they say the minimum price? The Heaven Lord of Thunderfire asked Manager Meng after muttering to himself. There's no minimum price. They don't want Saint Spirit stones. They're only bartering. They want spatial treasures that can accelerate time, as well as treasures of equal value, Chief Steward Meng said. Let's not talk about anything else. We have to get our hands on the Yun Spirit Pill and the corpse of the Windfire Dragon. I have a spatial acceleration magic treasure, but only one. The Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire said. In the past, he had the Thunder attribute as his main attribute and the Fire attribute as his secondary attribute. Later on, he comprehended the branch of the Void attribute from the Thunderfire Beast. Now, the Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire Dragon had the Wind and Fire attributes, which he desperately needed. Heavenly Monarch, we can ask for more spatial Dharma treasures, but this Windfire Dragon skeleton is not easy to get. If we miss it, it will be gone, Manager Meng said. I have to get my hands on it. However, I need to think about how to deal with it. It's impossible to sell it at the lowest price without advertising it. Inform the Dark World to wait for me at the Qianshan Mountains in the north of the city. If he comes forward to exchange for it, I don't think the others will compete with the Dark World. After thinking for a while, the Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire said. The Dark World he mentioned was also a giant and was his junior brother. The Dark World Lord of Heaven was very famous in the world of reincarnation. He was proficient in assassination and was a killer who walked in the dark. If he wanted to kill someone, it would be hard for them to escape. He once chased Li Tianhu from the Black Fiend Valley until he had nowhere to go. He even dared not to leave the Black Fiend Valley. It was Li Tianba who solved the problem. All the cultivators knew how powerful the Dark World Lord of Heaven was, but they didn't know that he was the Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire's junior brother. When they were young, they had a pair of awe-inspiring nicknames. The Dark World Lord of Heaven's nickname was Rampage, while the Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire's nickname was Domineering. The Dark World Lord of Heaven was really rampage because no one was willing to provoke the Dark World Lord of Heaven. The Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire intended to let the Dark World Lord of Heaven bid for the Windfire Dragon's skeleton and elixir. With the Dark World Lord of Heaven's reputation, no one would bid for it. Steward Ming nodded and went to inform the Dark World. He knew where the Dark World was. When the Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire communicated with the Dark World Lord of Heaven, Steward Ming was in the middle. After receiving the message, the Dark World Lord of Heaven came to the Thousand Mountains in the north of the Reincarnation City. That was the place where he would meet the Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire. The Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire brought along a spatial treasure that could increase his speed by 7 times. On the latest chapter, Junior Brother, you are a Dark World Lord of Death attribute, but your secondary attribute is Wind. The Windfire Dragon skeleton contains the Windfire attribute and is very suitable for us. Therefore we have to get it. The Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire said. The Dark World Lord of Heaven nodded after receiving the spatial treasure brought by the Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire. He knew what to do. Night Sorrow and Misty Rain returned to the Nine Chong Pagoda. Mistress, will the auction house reach an agreement with the client and cheat the owner? Night Sorrow was still a little worried. Of course not. No, Master's wife is going with you to tell others about your status in the Azure the Arch-Empire. Moreover, the price is low. You don't have to make the exchange. The initiative is still in your hands. It's not like you can't get a spatial treasure. When your master recovers to his peak state, he can make one as long as he has the materials. It's just that he lacks the materials, Heavenly Monarch Yufei said. Night Sorrow nodded. He needed a spatial treasure to increase his speed, but he wouldn't admit that he was being cheated. The skeletons of demonic beasts above the rank were very rare. The Big Dipper City had auctioned the Silver Dragon's bone and Silver Dragon's blood before, but their levels were relatively low. The difference between each level was several times greater. The Windfire Dragon and the Two-Headed Icefire Dragon were both monarch-level demonic beasts. Their prices were extremely high. Night Sorrow also went into seclusion. He was going to take the soft jade muscle elixir to strengthen his dantian and meridians. No matter how strong his body was, taking the soft jade muscle elixir was still very effective. Night Sorrow never gave up on refining his body. No matter how difficult it was the ability to fight above his level. The universal Tao Tome created by the human sovereign was at the Undying Realm. There was one more level after that, which was the Rebirth Realm. There are some mistakes in the first few chapters. Yi Shang knew that the human emperor of the past was a powerhouse. He himself was not a rank 9 cultivator, so the Rebirth Realm most likely corresponded to a powerhouse. As for the blank page, it was because the human emperor had not reached that realm. It wasn't difficult to refine the soft jade muscle elixir. In fact, it was a process to strengthen the body and meridians. Night Sorrow didn't only take the thunder pattern soft jade muscle elixir for his doppelganger. His original body also took the elixir in the Samsara Palace. He started to cultivate and comprehend the will of heaven and earth. It took Night Sorrow 7 days to refine the soft jade muscle elixir and strengthen his dantian and meridians. The effect was very obvious. Night Sorrow's body contained extremely strong energy, but there was still room for improvement. Night Sorrow was very happy to feel that his body's strength and toughness had improved a lot. Night Sorrow was looking forward to the improvement of his original body's level. As long as he entered the Star King realm, he would be invincible. Night Sorrow was confident that he could compete with any monarch. It was time to find the White Tiger blood. In addition, he had to deal with the incomplete Spacetime Treasure Pagoda. To do this, he needed strength. Now that he was at the peak of the 7-Star King realm, he was an expert. However, he was still 2 levels away from a monarch. Chapter 1334. Although Yi Shang had the strength of a monarch, his cultivation was still lacking. This was because his foundation was not strong enough. When Night Sorrow came out of seclusion, Misty Rain was teaching Qing Yuan sword techniques. Night Sorrow, are you interested in learning the floating rain sword technique? But it's a bit feminine and doesn't suit your style. Misty Rain looked at Night Sorrow and said. Master's wife, I'm just practicing. I won't learn the sword technique, Night Sorrow said with a smile. What you've learned now is enough. Just keep improving and you'll be able to survive, Misty Rain said with a smile. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. He knew that Misty Rain wasn't hiding anything. What she said was reasonable. Qing Yuan also stopped cultivating. Junior brother, did you know? My brother was defeated. He went to find Jun Xuanji but was rejected. She said that she didn't want to think about this for now. She said that she has many things to deal with. The 9 regions world is developing and she has to develop herself. Wow. Senior brother acted quickly but was a bit blind. We should communicate more and understand each other before acting. It's a bit troublesome now. Night Sorrow said. He understood Jun Xuanji. If Jun Xuanji rejected, then Qing Lin would have no chance. Jun Xuanji wasn't someone who wavered. If he rejected, then he rejected. That's enough. Yishang, you don't have to worry about this. He will think of a solution for his own problems. Blindly attacking is a big taboo, said Heavenly Monarch Yufei. She also knew that there was probably no follow-up to this. Jun Xuanji came from the 9 regions world and saw how outstanding Night Sorrow was, so she had a measure in her heart. It was difficult for others to enter her heart. Now that Qing Lin was reckless, her hope was almost destroyed. Night Sorrow made tea and the 3 of them sat down and chatted. Junior brother, you're back. Father showed up. The other party is no longer fighting with us. The army has retreated. They haven't taken advantage of us in the past 2 years, Qing Wan said. That won't do. If they want to fight, then they'll fight. If they feel that they can't win, then they don't want to fight anymore? Don't worry, clean it up bit by bit. Night Sorrow did not plan to stop there. Since the other party attacked the Qing Emperor's dynasty, it meant that they did not care about the Qing Emperor's dynasty at all. Your master also said that you will be in charge of these matters. You can arrange it however you see fit, Misty Rain said. It's not over yet, but for the time being we should seek stability. Master needs time and so does eldest senior brother. Let's reorganize, and the next step is to attack the Burning Heaven Tower. The celestial sect is not easy to deal with, so we'll leave it for last. When the Qing Emperor's dynasty has a foundation in the 9 regions world, we can fight however we want. Night Sorrow spoke his thoughts. Little junior brother, the 9 regions world is your territory and you are the world lord. You won't bully us, right? Blue Phoenix looked at Night Sorrow and said, Senior sister, who are you? Your way of thinking is too dirty. In the future, if you have a territory, I won't dare to go there. Your way of thinking is too scary, Night Sorrow said with a smile. I'm just asking. You're thinking too much. Blue Phoenix's face was a little red from Night Sorrow's words. Oh right, your master said that you've become a virtuous sage. What's the situation? Misty Rain looked at Night Sorrow and asked. In other worlds, the virtuous sage does not have much of an effect. They are just blessed by the heavenly Tao and have great luck. But in the 9 regions world it's different. The actual effect will be displayed, Night Sorrow said. Misty Rain and Blue Phoenix nodded. They understood that the actual effect that Night Sorrow said was the manifestation of battle strength. There was nothing else to do. He still had to wait for the filming to start. Night Sorrow went to the dark abyss for a walk. Datura was very happy with Night Sorrow's arrival. Because Night Sorrow took the initiative to come, it meant that she was in his heart. Night Sorrow gave Datura the soft jade tendon pill. Lightning pattern pill. Not bad. What's its effect? Datura asked with a smile after receiving the pill. Night Sorrow had just told her the effect of the lightning pattern soft jade tendon pill. Okay, at least you have a conscience. You think of me when something good happens, Datura said with a smile. It's not that I don't know how to care about you. It's just that I have too many things to do, Night Sorrow explained. Datura smiled. She knew what was going on. Night Sorrow was indeed busy. There were some things that he could not leave. Night Sorrow rested in the small courtyard that Datura had prepared for him. There was nothing to do on this day. Night Sorrow took out the crystal ball that Shen Daozi had divined and studied it. He did not know where it indicated, nor did he understand why the Haotian God Pagoda would be broken like this. Night Sorrow felt that the Haotian God Pagoda had been damaged when the Human King and Blood Blade Lord fought over it. As for where exactly they fought, it was hard to say. What are you thinking about? Datura came over with a plate of fruit. There were no servants in the small courtyard, so it was quieter. Forever free, this. Look at this. Do you know where this is? Night Sorrow took out the crystal ball and handed it to Datura. Where is this place? Why are you looking for this place? Datura asked Night Sorrow. The Haotian God Pagoda. The broken part of the Haotian God Pagoda is here. I don't know where this is, Night Sorrow said. Datura looked at the crystal ball and thought, I have been in the world of reincarnation for many years, but I have never seen such a scene. It is said that the Human King and Blood Blade Lord fought over the Haotian God Pagoda. I obtained the human king's cultivation technique in the 9-domain world. I also obtained a part of the Haoyin God Pagoda. However, there is something missing in the middle, Night Sorrow said. The myriad Dao treasured tome was obtained by Night Sorrow in the Medicine Valley. It was obtained by the Medicine Valley Elder in the Supreme River Space. The Haoyin God Pagoda appeared in Jianghu City. It was lost in the 9-domain world when the mysterious heaven world was in a massacre. There was nothing between the two. After hearing Night Sorrow's explanation, Datura shook his head. Actually, there are many things that we do not know. For example, the person who obtained the Haoyin God Pagoda in the 9-domain world found the myriad Dao treasured tome in the Haoyin God Pagoda and passed it to others. The person who obtained the myriad Dao treasured tome died in the Supreme River Space. Some things do not need to be thought about. It is reasonable that they exist. The problem now is how to find this scene. The result of this divination shows that the broken part of the Haoyin God Pagoda is not in the hands of a person. If it is in the hands of a person, it should show the person, not the scene, Night Sorrow analyzed. The human king is the human king. The first heaven master, Bloodblade Lord, is also a peerless cultivator. It is hard to say where the battle between them took place. It is possible that they fought across realms. However, I feel that since the Haoyin God Pagoda appeared in the mysterious heaven world, we should use the mysterious heaven world as the core to search for it. We should see what is in the small spatial worlds around the mysterious heaven world. Since we are not in a hurry, we can slowly search for it, Datura comforted Night Sorrow. Chapter 1335. Then I'll go take a look around the mysterious sky world later. In 2 months, I'll be participating in the auction in Reincarnation City. I plan to buy some things, Night Sorrow said. Buy things? I like to watch the fun too. You can call me when the time comes. I'll go take a look at the treasures too. Datura was also interested. Luo, compared to before, you've changed a lot. Now you're gentle and sensible. Your aura is completely different from when I first met you. Night Sorrow looked at Datura and said, perhaps. Actually, I don't really understand it myself. After I transformed into a human, I'm still different from a human. I don't have human emotions. After meeting you, my life has been moving towards perfection and I've had a lot of realizations. Datura said. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. He was very happy that Datura had changed so much. He was engaged. If Datura was unruly and unreasonable, he would have a headache. Then Datura asked Night Sorrow about the cultivation of the Great Death Destruction / Night Sorrow stood up and displayed it for Datura to see. The power is not bad. For you to have such power at your cultivation level, it's the effect of your soul power. A 7-star king has the soul power of a monarch. How did he cultivate it? It's unbelievable. Datura sighed. I've been drinking soul-nurturing tea to cultivate. Also, I have the source of the world. It's helpful in the cultivation of my soul power. Night Sorrow said. Then, Night Sorrow brought Datura to the city in the sky and had a family dinner with his family. Qingyan and Datura were also very close. They had interacted a lot over the years. Afterward, Xiaolanjun found Night Sorrow. They felt that the 9 regions world's teleportation array was too close to where Night Sorrow lived, and it was not suitable to disturb Night Sorrow and his family's rest. They suggested moving it directly to the Grand Pure Domain. I won't move it to Taiching Domain. I'll move it directly to Haoyin City. My clone will stand guard there. As for where else to connect, we'll talk about it later, Night Sorrow said. Then Night Sorrow moved the teleportation formation of Sky City to Haoyin City and set up another teleportation formation in Haoyin City to connect to Sky City. Night Sorrow could fly from the Haoyin City to the city in the sky in a few breaths of time, but others couldn't. After all, there were people with low cultivation. With this arrangement, Night Sorrow wanted to give his family some peace and quiet. Accompanying his family, accompanying his wife, and sometimes guiding his son and daughter in their cultivation, Night Sorrow felt that this was what he had always wanted. It was just that he had yet to complete his responsibilities. In addition, it was Night Sorrow's dream to continue on the path of becoming a master. After relaxing for 2 months, Night Sorrow, Misty Rain, and Datura went to Samsara City together because the auction was about to begin. Datura had a mansion in Samsara City, but she didn't live there usually, so the servants cleaned it. Night Sorrow and the other 2 went in to rest. The auction is not very clean. In fact, the auction house is the place where Thunder Fire Heaven Monarch keeps his treasures, Datura said. Is there such a thing? Misty Rain was surprised. I knew it a long time ago, but I was too lazy to tell you. This time, Night Sorrow's treasures can be exchanged fairly, so I won't argue with him. If he plays dirty, then don't blame me for falling out with him. If I say he is the Castellan, then he is the Castellan. If I say I don't care about him, then he is nothing, Dachura said. Now Night Sorrow was Dachura's soft spot. No one could touch him, not even Thunderfire Heaven Monarch. I don't think so. After all, my master's wife came with him last time. Before he does something, he will think twice, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Dachura nodded. Don't underestimate Thunderfire Heaven Monarch. He knows how to play tricks very well. He is a person who is two-faced. He makes a good reputation just to get to the top. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that some things could not be judged by appearances. There must be a reason why Thunderfire Heaven Monarch could become the Castellan of Samsara City. He must have his strong points. Even if he was just pretending, he must be very experienced. After a day's rest, the three of them arrived at the auction house in the evening. Seeing Dachura, Manager Meng was stunned for a moment. Then he hurriedly bowed to greet him. The income of the auction house is the income of Samsara City. It is also part of the Dark Abyss. Hurry up and send it over. Do you have to wait for me to ask for it? Dachura was very impolite. Okay, I will send the income aside from the city guards to the Dark Abyss soon, Manager Meng replied with his hands folded. In the world of Samsara, if one were to talk about who should not be provoked, no one would be ahead of Dachura. Find a quiet place with a good view. Dachura looked at Manager Meng and instructed. She was also one of the elders of Samsara City. Manager Meng was in charge of the auction house, so he was also her subordinate. Manager Meng led the way in front and found a good place. He was a little worried that there would be changes. Dark Abyss Heaven Monarch could scare others, but he could easily annoy Dachura if he scared Dachura. Aluo, why are you so fierce? Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then he is not a good person. You don't have to be nice to him. Dachura looked down on Manager Meng. Misty Rain smiled. She knew that this was Dachura. If he liked something, he liked it. If he disliked something, he disliked it. He would not hide it. There were more and more people in the auction house. The auction house was in the middle and there were high-rise pavilions on all sides. It was guaranteed that the auction house could be seen from all sides. Every room had a number plate. It was very clear who was bidding. Many of them are businessmen who come here to look for treasures. They just want to see if they can make a profit. Dachura said. I wonder if we can exchange for a better time acceleration magic treasure this time. Night Sorrow looked at the auction house and said. If we can find one, we will exchange it. If not, we will wait. When your master recovers, we will collect the materials. Misty Rain said. Night Sorrow nodded. If there was a suitable one, they would exchange it. If not, they would wait. It was a good idea. When the lanterns were lit, the auction house was full of people. The auction house had prepared and advertised in advance. The items that Night Sorrow brought were all of the best quality. The auction house had to advertise. Even if Thunderfire Heaven Monarch did not want to, he could not bully some people. Then a photographer came forward and stood on the platform in the middle of the pavilions. Thank you for coming. There are many good items to be auctioned today. Don't miss it. The photographer cupped his hands to all sides. The first item to be auctioned was a high-grade king weapon battle knife. The bidding was also very hot. Night Sorrow was a blacksmith. He did not need weapons or armor, but there were too many people who needed them. The bidding went from a few hundred Saint Spirit stones to a few thousand, then tens of thousands. Finally, it was sold at 30,000 Saint Spirit stones. After the battle knife was auctioned, it was a high-grade king weapon armor. It was also very hot. This item is also very expensive. Blacksmiths are very popular. Dachura looked to the other side as he spoke. Chapter 1336. He actually showed up. Interesting, Dachura mumbled. Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch. How can he come here so openly? Misty Rain waved his hand and set up a barrier. It's simple. Some people can just turn a blind eye to his presence. This time he should be here for the remains of the Wind-Fire Dragon. His secondary attribute is wind, and the remains of the Wind-Fire Dragon are very suitable for him, Dachura said. Aluo, are you talking about the black-clothed man in the room diagonally across from us? Night Sorrow asked. He couldn't tell how strong the black-clothed man was, which meant that he was a powerful figure. That's right. He's an assassin called Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch. He's quite strong. He once bullied Li Tianhu of the Black Fiend Valley so much that he didn't dare to leave the Black Fiend Valley. He's good at assassination, so he's quite difficult to deal with. Datura nodded. I don't care who he is. If the price is not right, I won't trade, Night Sorrow said. But he'll be a hindrance. After he makes a bid, those who were sincere about trading with you won't dare to make another bid. They won't dare to offend him, Datura said. Night Sorrow also understood that this was the power of deterrence. Ordinary cultivators wouldn't dare to go against a powerful figure, because they wouldn't know when their heads would move. Don't worry. Let's see if he can force it. Datura's face turned cold. Aluo, why was the first battle blade sold for only 30,000 Saint Spirit Stones? Night Sorrow asked. That's a common item. The price is high. The price just now was already quite good. How many Saint Spirit Stones did I get from blackmailing Zhan Taiyang? Datura said with a smile. The auction proceeded in an orderly manner. There was no trash here because the auction items had all been appraised and checked before they were brought in. There were no fakes and they were only auctioned after their value was confirmed. As all cultivators know, the bones of high-level king rank Yao beasts are very hard to come by. Right now we have the bones of a monarch rank 2-headed Icefire WRM. Aside from the Icefire WRM's core, the rest of the bones are still here. However, this skeleton is being auctioned off through bartering. We can only exchange it for a space-type magic treasure with the ability to accelerate time. As for the difference in value between the two, we can make up for the difference. The auctioneer shook the space-type magic treasure in his hand and brought out the 2-headed Icefire WRM's corpse. The gigantic corpse of the 2-headed Icefire WRM lay coiled in the middle of the field. Demonic beasts below the king level might rot after death, but demonic beasts at the king level contained extremely pure energy and would not rot easily. The 2-headed Icefire WRM's corpse was almost complete. Of course, the Icefire WRM's core had been taken away by Night Sorrow and given to Wu Lingfei. Looking at the 2-headed Icefire WRM, many people were whispering. They could not afford the exchange. Not everyone had space-type magic treasures. After a while, an old man stood up and said, I have a magic treasure that can accelerate time by 5 times. Without the core of the 2-headed Icefire WRM, it is equivalent to losing the most precious item. Therefore, the value of the two items is about the same. I wonder if it is possible to exchange for it. The auctioneer nodded and said, Then please take a look at this 2-headed Icefire WRM skeleton first. Also, please remove the ownership of the space-type magic treasure temporarily. We want to bring it to the owner of this 2-headed Icefire WRM skeleton. Subsequently, the old man took out a space-type magic treasure that looked like a small attic and handed it to the auctioneer. The auctioneer took the space-type magic treasure and went to find Manager Meng. Manager Meng sighed and took the treasure to Night Sorrow's VIP room. He knew that if Night Sorrow was willing to make the exchange, it would be difficult for the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch to obtain the Windfire WRM skeleton at a low price. After inspecting it, Night Sorrow found that it was not bad. The space inside was the size of a courtyard and could accommodate dozens of people cultivating at the same time. Comparing the inside and outside, it was indeed 5 times faster. Okay, I will exchange with him. There was no problem with the space-type magic treasure, so Night Sorrow planned to exchange it. The 2-headed Icefire WRM's corpse was not very useful to him. After glancing at Datura, Manager Meng said, If this is valued at 30,000 Sacred Spirit Stones, His Highness Night Sorrow will have to pay 3,000 Sacred Spirit Stones as commission. After taking out 3,000 Sacred Spirit Stones, Night Sorrow looked at Manager Meng and said, This magic treasure is mine, right? Yes, it is now His Highness Night Sorrow's. The 2-headed Icefire WRM will be handed over to him. Manager Meng nodded. Only one original _ all others equals #pirated, okay that's it then. Night Sorrow kept the space-type magic treasure. Manager Meng also left the VIP room. This space-type magic treasure is worth at least 100,000 to 200,000 Sacred Spirit Stones. He charged you 3,000 as commission, which is considered very low, Misty Rain said. That's because he knows what's good for him. Otherwise I would have checked the accounts. Who knows who is having a hard time? Datura snorted coldly. Manager Meng was also helpless. He knew very well that if he did not handle today's matter well, there would be a lot of trouble. Therefore he only charged Night Sorrow a small commission as a token. Manager Ming really wanted to communicate with the Dark Underworld Sky Lord and tell him about the Master's situation. However, if he did anything now, Dachira would know immediately and their relationship would be exposed. Everyone knew that he was the retainer of the Thunder Fire Heaven Lord. Night Sorrow, now that you have exchanged for a space-type magic treasure, you can leave the remains of the Windfire WRM behind, Misty Rain said. If there is a suitable one, I will exchange for it. I will throw in a space-type magic treasure for the 9 Domains world and one for the 9 Floors building. Whoever wants to cultivate can go in. This way it won't cause any delay, Night Sorrow said. Extravagant. Looking at all the high-level king in the world, no one can be as extravagant as you. Not even the Sky Pillar. Giving 2 space-type magic treasures to the people around you. Other than you, no one else can do it, Dachira said as he looked at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled and didn't say anything. He watched as the old man took away the corpse of the 2-headed Icefire WRM. After that, it was time to auction the pills. There were many other pills, but Night Sorrow didn't want to buy them. He had his own materials and could make high-level king pills. However, no one bought Night Sorrow's pills. They were all unsold. Night Sorrow's pills weren't for cultivation. They were for changing one's foundation. Ordinary materials couldn't be exchanged for them. Night Sorrow didn't want Holy Spirit stones. Night Sorrow still had a few 100,000 Holy Spirit stones in stock. It was enough for now. When he needed to set up the 9 Domains world's Great City Barrier Array, it wouldn't be too late to study the Holy Spirit stones. As he had the resources, it wouldn't be a problem to exchange them for Holy Spirit stones. Night Sorrow, everyone wants your pills but you only want materials. That's a scam, Dachira said with a smile. Then let's keep them. The people around us can slowly eat them in the future. Night Sorrow didn't care if his pills were auctioned or not. After the auction items were auctioned, it was time for the finale. The auction of the Windfire WRM skeleton. The auctioneer took out the Windfire WRM skeleton and placed it in the middle of the auction hall. However, the photographer's words were interrupted halfway. Dark Underworld Heavenly Monarch walked out of the VIP room. I want the Windfire WRM skeleton. Isn't it just a space-type magic treasure that can accelerate time? I'll pay. The 10th update had arrived. Another explosion. Thank you for your support. This is my reward for you, brother. Chapter 1337. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch directly said that he was a Heaven Monarch. His meaning was obvious. I'm a Heaven Monarch. Don't be blind. If you dare to rob me, I'll kill you. Manager Meng came out. Oh, it's the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch. Please take a seat. I'll make the arrangements. Show me your spatial treasure. Manager Meng felt that it was time for him to appear. Now that a powerful figure had appeared, he naturally had to come out to receive him. Take a look. It's a treasure that can accelerate time by 5 times. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch took out a treasure and threw it to Manager Meng. The Thunder Fire Heaven Monarch gave him a spatial treasure that could accelerate time by 7 times, but he didn't take it out. He felt that a spatial treasure that could accelerate time by 5 times was enough. If he didn't want it, he would kill him and rob him after leaving the auction house. There's no need to look. I won't trade for a spatial treasure that can accelerate time by 5 times. Night Sorrow walked out of the VIP room and said to the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch. You won't trade? You think it's too low? Let me tell you something. Sometimes you have to quit while you're ahead. If you're alive, you have to pay a high price. If you're not, you have to pay a high price. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch looked at Night Sorrow coldly and said, You dare to threaten him. If you leave the auction house, I'll kill you. Dachira appeared. She was very angry. Dachira, this has nothing to do with you, right? The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch frowned. He had been paying attention to the Windfire Dragon skeleton and didn't notice the situation here. It was mainly because Dachira and the other 2 were in the VIP room. It doesn't matter. He's my man. What do you think? You threatened him. If I don't teach you a lesson, I won't be Dachira. You can see if I'm that idiot Li Tianhu. I'll also see if your head is as hard as Zhang Taiyang's. Dachira's eyes were full of killing intent. Don't scare me. It's meaningless. I'm alone. I'm not afraid of you. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch said. Ah, who do you think you are? Don't think that I don't know. You are acting all high and mighty now. I will wait here for you to come out of the auction. Dachira sneered. My lords, there is no need to be angry. We can talk about this slowly. Manager Meng stood up and acted as a peacemaker. Scram. There's nothing for you to do here. Night Sorrow, go and retrieve the Windfire Dragon skeleton. Today we'll have some fun with them. Dachira had a hollowed blade in her hand. As long as the dark world moved, she would make a move. She did not make the first move because violence was forbidden in the auction house. This was the rule of all auction houses. Samsara City also had a joint prohibition. Heavenly Monarch of the Dark Underworld. You should know that he's from the Qing Emperor's dynasty, yet he still wants to buy it by force. How arrogant, Misty Rain said. This is a misunderstanding. Since he's from your side, I don't care about the Windfire Dragon skeleton. You don't have to be hostile to me. This is how the world works. The strong prey on the weak, right? Just pretend that I've never been here. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch glanced at Night Sorrow and said, Dark Underworld, I, Dachira, will tell you the truth today. You are lucky that others don't care about you when you offend them. If you don't want to die, you'd better be smart. There are some people that you can't afford to offend. No matter who is behind you, I won't give face to him. Scram. Dachira yelled and did not give face to the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch. +4 original auction, Dachira, I will remember your words. So will you. After glaring at Dachira, the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch walked out of the auction house. He couldn't afford to offend Dachira because Dachira had a glorious battle record. When the Dark Underworld walked out of the auction house, Dachira chased after him. Trash, how dare you talk back to me? I'll kill you. The Dark Underworld meant that he would remember what happened today. Dachira couldn't hold back his anger. Seeing the Dark Underworld walking out of the auction house, Dachira waved his blade and attacked the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch waved his sword and fought back. If he ran away without a fight, he would lose all his face. As their weapons clashed, the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch was pushed back. He wasn't good at fighting head-on. What he was good at was assassination. With the help of Dachira's genuine chi, the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch naturally couldn't withstand it. Then, Dachira suppressed the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch and slashed with his hollow blade again and again. How dare you show off with such strength? Dachira directly used the Death Destruction slash. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch, how dare you show yourself? Die. With a roar, a blade light slashed toward the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch. However, it also blocked Dachira's attack path and interrupted Dachira's momentum. Leihua, I'm not done with you. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch was pushed back by the slash. He roared and disappeared into the night. Where do you think you're going? Leihua stood up and started to chase. Dachira turned around and looked at Misty Rain. Did you see that? It's a monkey show. These two are putting on a monkey show with me. Night Sorrow, have you packed your things? Yes. Night Sorrow nodded. Then let's go back to the courtyard and have a rest. Let's see how you explain this to me after the monkey show is over. Dachira didn't chase because she didn't want to fall out with the Heaven Monarch. Actually, it doesn't matter. We already know what happened. Misty Rain said. That's right. It's not necessary. Next time when we choose the Castellan, we'll kick him out. Dachira nodded and walked toward the teleportation formation with Misty Rain and Night Sorrow. The three of them directly returned to the Qing Emperor City and went to the Jiuchong building. Very dirty. I didn't expect the Heaven Monarch to be like this. Misty Rain couldn't believe it. She hadn't been in the world of samsara for millions of years and wasn't clear about some things. It doesn't matter. Let him jump around. Next time we'll kick him out and make him the Castellan. Is he qualified to be the Castellan? Dachira snorted. It shouldn't be a problem. Now we have the right to speak. Night Sorrow said. Currently, in the world of samsara, the Qing Emperor dynasty was the strongest. It had changed from one Heaven Master to 3. In addition, it was allied with the Red Emperor country in the Dark Abyss. This strength wasn't something that could be challenged by any force, not even the Celestial Sect. We'll talk about it when the time comes. But you have to be careful. Some hypocrites are unscrupulous. Those two are in cahoots. Later, I'll send someone to investigate their background and the situation in recent years. If that dark world dares to come to the eastern district of the world of samsara, we'll kill him directly. Dachira said. She was angry that someone had threatened Night Sorrow. Aluo, there's nothing to be angry about. He threatened me because I'm not strong enough. When I'm strong enough, no one will bully me like this. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Everyone wants to save face, but what are those things? No, I'll send someone to investigate the whereabouts of this dark world and find a chance to kill him. Dachira still didn't want to give up. She was very angry now. At this moment, the Heaven Monarch of Thunder Fire and the Heaven Monarch of Dark World left the Samsara city one after another and arrived at the Chenshan mountain in the north of the city. Junior brother, what happened? How did you offend Dachira? The Heaven Monarch of Thunder Fire was very angry. Chapter 1338. Didn't you say that there was only misty rain? If there was only misty rain, things wouldn't be so difficult. Who knew that a lunatic like Dachira would appear? The most incomprehensible thing was that Dachira was willing to fight to the death with me for that brat. Dark Heaven Lord was also very annoyed. If he had known that it would involve Dachira, he definitely wouldn't have done so. This is a mistake in the information. How about this? Don't show up for a while and find a place to hide. Thunder Fire Heaven Lord said. He was very annoyed because he knew that Dachira would see something else. If Dark Heaven Lord wasn't his junior brother and had always been his assistant, he would have destroyed Dark Heaven Lord now to give Mandala an explanation and prove his innocence. Well, sorry for the trouble. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch handed the spatial treasure to the Thunder Fire Heaven Monarch and retreated into the night. Thunder Fire returned to the auction house. When he learned that Dachira had left, his expression changed. This meant that Dachira didn't need him to explain. It meant that Dachira had his own considerations. *% is the only genuine copy. The others are all pirated copies. This result made Thunder Fire even angrier. If he had known that it would be so complicated, he would have rather made a normal transaction and paid a little blood. Because he really needed the skeleton of the Windfire Dragon, but he didn't have the chance now. Helpless, Thunder Fire could only wait and see. At this moment he couldn't do anything. Night Sorrow arrived at Sky Tiger Pass and told the members of the God-slaying team that he would place a time acceleration treasure in the city in the sky later. If their state of mind was fine, they could go back and cultivate. Night Sorrow then sent Dachira back to the Dark Abyss and returned to the city in the sky. He took out the space acceleration treasure and said, Xueshi, now that you have comprehended the will, your doppelganger is fine. Take this space acceleration treasure and refine it. Our people can enter and cultivate if they want to. You will be in charge of this. Is this appropriate? Xueshi looked at Sikong Chuyu and the other two and asked. There's nothing inappropriate about it. You can refine it. I've left enough Holy Spirit stones inside, Night Sorrow said. After giving his instructions, Night Sorrow returned to Nine Chong Building. On Night Sorrow's return to the 9-story tower, he studied the array formation. He studied the 9 underworlds slaughtering Divine Dragon Tiger array because he wanted to set up the array formation in the 9 domains world in the future to protect the Supreme Sky City and the city in the sky. Misty Rain stayed in the 9 Chong Pagoda and often guided her children in their cultivation. In addition, Night Sorrow also told Jun Xuanji to send people to the 9th level 9 Firmament World Group to investigate the surroundings of the Sky Profound World and see what kind of worlds there were. Night Sorrow could not give up on repairing the Spacetime Pagoda, which was also known as the Haotian Divine Pagoda. A heavenly axiom artifact was extremely rare, not to mention that it was a defensive type artifact. Its value was immeasurable and it was mainly suitable for Night Sorrow. Yishan needed clues. Only with clues would he be able to search properly. Another thing was the overall situation. The alliance led by the Celestial Sect was completely shattered. Both the Burning Heaven Tower and the Martial God Palace knew about the losses of the Celestial Sect. The most important thing was that it was very difficult for them to do anything now. After fighting for so long, they had always been at a disadvantage. Originally, when the Qing Emperor was in trouble, they could still see some hope. After the Qing Emperor appeared, their hope was still there. The situation was stabilized, but Night Sorrow did not plan to let it end like this. After all, the other party had joined forces to attack the Qing Emperor's dynasty first. If they did not give the Qing Emperor face, they naturally had to fight back. This time they did not join forces with anyone. Night Sorrow ordered the 9 Heavens Army to fight. The secret guards were sent out to assassinate. Their target was the Black Fiend Valley. The Black Fiend Valley was the first to withdraw from the Celestial Sect's alliance. The Celestial Sect and the others would not care about attacking the Black Fiend Valley. They would first pick an isolated force to declare war on, and then destroy them one by one. This was Night Sorrow's strategy. The Nine Heavens Army was the main force, and the Green Qilin and Green Phoenix Army were the support. They directly attacked the Black Fiend Valley. The assassination of the secret guards also made Li Tianba badly battered because he could not defend. Summer City mobilized the secret guards to assassinate, and he himself stayed by Night Sorrow's side. After hearing the report, Night Sorrow looked at Summer City. If we don't do something ruthless, they will continue to resist. Assassinate important people. That Liang, if we have the chance, kill him. Wasn't he very arrogant in the past? He even came to our 9 grand floors to capture people. Night Sorrow remembered Li Ying's matter. At that time he was very aggressive and came looking for trouble with him several times. He even fought his way to the 9 grand floors, so Night Sorrow planned to take his life. Summer City accepted the order and went to make the arrangements. If Night Sorrow said so, he would make the arrangements. Mother, junior brother is very vengeful. Green Phoenix, who was listening to Night Sorrow's arrangements, said, "If you don't take revenge, you are not a gentleman. If you go overboard, then you have to pay the price." Misty Rain supported Night Sorrow. "Senior sister, you have the nerve to say that. At that time, none of you cared about me, and I was killed in the 9 grand floors," Night Sorrow said unhappily. "The situation at that time was different from now. I think that after we kill this guy, the Black Fiend Valley will compromise," Green Phoenix said. "That's why we want them to submit. We want them to compromise. Then we will deal with the Burning Sky Tower. The Burning Sky Tower is also very arrogant. They even joined forces with the Celestial Sect to attack us. Naturally we will fight back," Night Sorrow said. Misty Rain nodded. She knew that Night Sorrow wanted to deal with the Celestial Sect the most. Currently he was enduring because of his concerns. Half a month later, 2 of the secret guards returned. They told Night Sorrow that Li Ying had been killed. "Okay, continue to assassinate. Let's see how long they can last," Night Sorrow said. At this time, in the main hall of the Black Fiend Valley, Li Tianhu and Li Tianba were sitting in a meeting. "It seems that the Qing Emperor's dynasty won't let us go. This was the wrong decision back then. Now, the Celestial Sect doesn't dare to continue to invade the Qing Emperor's dynasty. The Burning Sky Tower can't even take care of itself. I really didn't expect the Qing Emperor's dynasty to develop so quickly," Li Tianba said with some annoyance. "Big brother, things aren't good now. It's useless even if we ask for help. The puppets of the Celestial Sect have been destroyed one after another. Their strength has dropped to the freezing point. It's impossible for them to join forces with us," Black Fiend Valley said. "The Celestial Sect is trash. They were so happy back then. Now that they are hurt by the Qing Emperor's dynasty, they don't dare to say anything," Li Tianba said. "The Burning Sky Tower is the same. The Qing Emperor's dynasty declared war on us. Later it will probably be the Burning Sky Tower. We have to make a choice now. I think that if we apologize now, we can coexist peacefully in the future," Li Tianba said. "That's the only way. It's unrealistic to find allies. No one in the reincarnation world is willing to fight against the Qing Emperor's dynasty," Li Tianhu said. "Then we can only swallow it. We can only talk peacefully." Li Tianba sighed. Li Tianba didn't show up. Li Tianhu went to the Qing Emperor's dynasty and went to the 9 Chong building to look for Night Sorrow. Black Fiend Valley had to admit defeat. Black Fiend Valley couldn't withstand the attacks of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Therefore they could only think of a way to make peace. Second update. Chapter 1339. The difference in strength was obvious. The Black Fiend Valley could not withstand the attack of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. If the Heaven Masters took action, the Qing Emperor's dynasty's Heaven Masters would also take action. By then, there would be no possibility of compromise. Hence, Li Tianba and Li Tianhu had been commanding the battle, but they did not take action. This was the restraint of the unspoken rules. In a battle between Heaven Masters, if the Heaven Masters did not take action, the other party would not take action either. However, if the Heaven Masters took action and killed the other party's troops, then it would be a battle to the death. This was completely different from when Sandalwood came to take revenge. War had its own rules. Li Tianhu did not beat around the bush. A loss was a loss. Who asked him to be so blind? Now that he had lost, he had to pay the price. If he lost face, then it was a loss. Li Tianhu greets Misty Rain. "I am representing the Black Fiend Valley to negotiate with the Qing Emperor's dynasty." Li Tianhu saluted Misty Rain. Knight Sorrow is in charge of the Qing Emperor's dynasty now. You have to tell him about this, Misty Rain said. Valley Masterly, please take a seat. Someone come and serve tea. Knight Sorrow saluted Li Tianhu. Killing someone was just a matter of nodding. The other party had admitted defeat, so he did not have to make things difficult for them. Knight Sorrow's highness is very capable. I'm impressed. Li Tianhu cupped his hands towards Yishang before sitting down. Normally, Knight Sorrow was a junior, while Li Tianhu and the Qing Emperor were heaven masters of the same level. They should not return the courtesy. However, Knight Sorrow was representing the Qing Emperor's dynasty now. Since Valley Master Li is here, then let's talk about who was in the wrong and who lost the battle. Valley Master Li, please tell us about the Black Fiend Valley's attitude now, Knight Sorrow said. Yes, there is no need to talk about who was in the wrong. It is meaningless. How about this? The Black Fiend Valley is willing to pay the price to ask the Qing Emperor's dynasty to withdraw their troops and live in peace in the future, Li Tianhu said. The losses in war are human lives, resources, and financial resources. The Qing Emperor's dynasty has suffered great losses recently. It is simply unbearable, Knight Sorrow sighed and said. Li Tianhu's eyes twitched. What did he mean by the Qing Emperor's dynasty had suffered great losses? In the recent war, the Qing Emperor's dynasty was suppressing the Black Fiend Valley, so they did not suffer any losses. Now that Knight Sorrow said this, it was a sign of an exorbitant demand. If the Black Fiend Valley did not compensate for the losses mentioned by Knight Sorrow, they would not let this matter rest. The Black Fiend Valley has also suffered great losses. Of course, we only have ourselves to blame. Therefore, the Black Fiend Valley will compensate for the losses of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Please be magnanimous, Your Highness Knight Sorrow, Li Tianhu said. Xuanji, please calculate the losses of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Knight Sorrow said to Jun Xuanji, who was standing at the side. He did not know how much compensation was appropriate. Or rather, how much compensation was appropriate. Knight Sorrow did not know, but someone did. Jun Xuanji was a professional and knew the situation of the Black Fiend Valley. He knew how much compensation was appropriate. Jun Xuanji nodded at Knight Sorrow and went to the table to start calculating. After a while, he cupped his hands at Knight Sorrow and said, The Qing Emperor's dynasty's losses are about 2 million Saint Spirit stones. However, the Black Fiend Valley's losses are also great. We will bear a portion of the losses ourselves. The compensation cannot be less than 1,500,000 Saint Spirit stones. Valley Lordly, this is the situation. If this loss is not compensated, the soldiers of the Qing Emperor's dynasty, the officials of the Qing Emperor's dynasty, and my master will not be able to answer, Knight Sorrow said. Li Tianhu was already cursing in his heart. Answer my ass. Currently, the Qing Emperor's dynasty, and the Blood Emperor's sandalwood seclusion. Misty Rain did not care about anything. Only Knight Sorrow was in charge. There was no need to answer to anyone. Okay, I will go back and discuss this with my brother. I will give Your Highness a reply, Li Tianhu said. Li Tianhu left, and Knight Sorrow politely sent him to the teleportation array. After returning to the Nine Chong Buildings Hall, Knight Sorrow looked at Jun Xuanji. 1,500,000 Saint Spirit stones. Can they afford it? This number is appropriate. If it's too much, they won't be able to pay it. If it's too little, we'll lose out. This number is just right to make them feel uncomfortable, but it's also within the acceptable range, Jun Xuanji said. Then should we stop the attack for now? Summer City asked. How can we stop it? If we stop it, they won't feel any pressure and will argue with us. If we order them to increase the attack slightly, they will naturally send the 1,500,000 Saint Spirit stones over if they can't afford it, Knight Sorrow said. Summer City, you've followed His Majesty for countless years. Now you're following Knight Sorrow. Both His Majesty and Knight Sorrow's strategies are top-notch. Why can't you learn anything? Misty Rain said. Sister-in-law, Summer City really isn't that talented. In the future, it's better to listen to orders and not talk too much, Summer City said helplessly. Knight Sorrow continued to study the battle against the burning sky tower. He felt that the celestial sect might interfere, but the interference wouldn't be too strong. First of all, the celestial sect's strength had decreased a lot. They had only destroyed 2 Titan-level puppets. If they wanted to stop the Qing Emperor's dynasty from attacking the burning sky tower, the celestial sect would have to use their final trump card. It was the rank 9 skeleton that no one knew the use and power of. Look at the original chapters section. B above equals everyone knew that the celestial sect's trump card wasn't that easy to use. It might require a huge price or it could only be used once. If the rank 9 skeleton could be used casually, then the world of Samsara would belong to the celestial sect. There was no doubt about it. Li Tianhu returned to the Black Fiend Valley and told Li Tianba about the Qing Emperor's dynasty's request. They're so calculative. They really know our resources. Li Tianba sighed. 1,500,000 Saint Spirit Stones was a huge loss to the Black Fiend Valley. They had already lost the battle and lost a lot of people. Their resources would also be damaged. At this time, someone came to report that the city lord and elders of a city had been killed. The furious Qilin army of the Nine Heavens Legion had destroyed another city. We didn't reject their request. Why are they still killing? Li Tianhu roared. He was very angry. Don't be angry. Knight Sorrow isn't a kid who just came out of the Jianghu. He's very good at strategy. Whether we agree or not, the battle won't stop until the resources are delivered, Li Tianba said. Li Tianba had no choice but to let Li Tianhu bring the 1 million Saint Spirit Stones stored in the Black Fiend Valley to the Qing Emperor's dynasty first. The remaining 500,000 would be delivered within 7 days. After receiving the Saint Spirit Stones from Li Tianhu, Knight Sorrow stood up. The battle has caused great losses to both sides. I'm very sorry that the Black Fiend Valley has to spend so much money. Then, Your Highness, please ask the Nine Heavens Legion and the Dark Guards to retreat. We're still suffering losses, Li Tianhu said. Summer City, what are you doing? Didn't Knight Sorrow ask you to stop the operation? Misty Rain glared at Summer City. I'm very sorry. We didn't handle this matter well. How about this, Uncle Summer? Please ask our men to retreat and prepare for war, Knight Sorrow said. There's no need to prepare for war. This matter will be resolved very well. Li Tianhu was very depressed. He was a big shot, but he couldn't ignore Knight Sorrow's threats. I believe that Valley Master Li will send other compensation 7 days later. However, the Qing Emperor's dynasty still has other matters to attend to. We need to prepare for war, Knight Sorrow stood up and said. Third watch. Chapter 1340. There's still the war. Li Tianhu mumbled and didn't say anything else. He knew that after the Black Fiend Valley, there would be another unlucky party. It would either be the Celestial Sect or the Burning Sky Tower. After getting Knight Sorrow's promise to retreat, Li Tianhu returned to the Black Fiend Valley and told Li Tianba about this matter. Big brother, will they fight to the death with the Celestial Sect? If both sides suffer heavy losses, then we still have a chance, Li Tianhu said. Don't have any wishful thinking. The eastern region of the world of reincarnation is unshakable. So what if the Celestial Sect uses their trump card? You know the results of our investigation. That brat is a realm lord. He has his own world that he can completely control. If the Celestial Sect uses their trump card, they might be able to suppress the eastern region of the world of reincarnation. But if they can't completely destroy it, then the Celestial Sect will be destroyed when the Qing Emperor's empire counterattacks, Li Tianba said. Li Tianba didn't have any wishful thinking because the results of his investigation were terrifying. Knight Sorrow was a realm lord. As long as his original body was in his own world, he wouldn't be destroyed. No one would be able to invade the Nine Regions world. Then we'll admit defeat. We can't touch the Qing Emperor's empire now. Li Tianhu also felt powerless. Let the other cities send over the Saint Spirit Stones. After this matter is settled, we can focus on our own development. A realm lord with a virtuous body is blessed by the heavens. Scheming against him is disadvantageous to our own luck. That Zhan Taiyang is an example. If we can't afford to offend him, can't we just avoid him? Li Tianba understood that Knight Sorrow wouldn't have a good ending. Knight Sorrow was making battle plans because the war with the Burning Sky Tower was about to start. 7 days later, Li Tianba and Li Tianhu came together. Now that the matter had been resolved, Li Tianba wanted to clarify the matter. Now that the Qing Emperor's dynasty's losses have been dealt with, this matter is over. However, there are some things that I have to make clear. I, Knight Sorrow, am not a troublemaker. We won't look for trouble with the Black Fiend Valley anymore. However, the Black Fiend Valley shouldn't interfere with the Qing Emperor's dynasty's affairs. Don't join the battle as soon as we start a war with someone. If that happens, we'll still end up on the opposite side. Then our efforts will be in vain, Knight Sorrow said. That won't happen. We can get along well in the future. If His Highness Knight Sorrow conquers the world and needs help, just call for Black Fiend Valley and we'll be there, Li Tianba said. Good. With the Valley Master's words, the matter was settled. I, Night Sorrow, am deeply sorry for what happened this time. Night Sorrow stood up and cupped his hands. He could tell that Li Tianba was not lying. F forever free, look small, say after sending Li Tianba off, Misty Rain said, what's the meaning of this? We beat him up and he's bleeding profusely. Now he still wants to form an alliance? He's not stupid. Night Sorrow has never mistreated his allies or those who follow him. Now he wants to follow behind and reap some benefits, Jun Xuanji said. Xuanji, now that you have said so, I understand. This old man is indeed not stupid. Heavenly Monarch Yufei nodded. I don't ask for anything else. I just hope that he won't drag me down, Night Sorrow said. No. If they had other plans they wouldn't have said what they said just now. They're really convinced. Jun Xuanji smiled. Li Tianhu, who had returned to the Black Fiend Valley, was also suspicious. Big brother, what do you mean just now? If they need us, we'll help them? That's right. If they need allies, we'll help them. The Qing Emperor's empire is already established. There are only benefits to being their ally. Let's not talk about other things. Just the Dark Abyss and the Red Emperor's empire. Have they profited or suffered losses in the past few wars? Li Tianba asked Li Tianhu. Of course. Li Tianhu nodded. In every war, the Qing Emperor's empire faced them head-on. They either defended or supported them. They didn't suffer many losses. The Qing Emperor's empire didn't want the sky-seizing island in the northern district of the reincarnation world and gave it to them. This means that in the era of Night Sorrow, the Qing Emperor's empire wouldn't cheat their allies. We're not afraid that he'll ask us for help. We're just afraid that he won't, Li Tianba said. Big brother, I understand now. The appearance of this young man has changed the situation. Look at the war between them and the Burning Sky Tower. If the Burning Sky Tower loses, only the Celestial Sect will be left. Li Tianhu nodded. In addition, I've also received news that 2 direct descendants of the Shenhuang City Lord's mansion in the Shenhuang Great World have come to the reincarnation world for Night Sorrow. The little princess of the Sea King's mansion in the Shenhuang Great World is also here. This means that Night Sorrow also has allies in the Shenhuang Great World. Li Tianba's information was very accurate. This was also the reason why he didn't hesitate to admit defeat. After studying the topographic map of the Burning Sky Tower for a while, Night Sorrow felt that it was better to drag the Dark Abyss and the Red Emperor's empire into this matter. This kind of war was inevitable. After making the decision, Night Sorrow went to the Red Emperor's empire and asked to see the Red Emperor. For Night Sorrow, the Red Emperor didn't treat him as a junior. He personally received him. Senior Red Emperor, I plan to attack the Burning Sky Tower. I wonder if the Red Emperor's empire is interested? Night Sorrow asked. Interesting. Of course I'm interested. Tell me, how do you plan to do it? Hearing that Night Sorrow was going to start a war, the Red Emperor became spirited. It was because war was the best way to make money. The last joint battle had expanded the territory of the Red Emperor's empire by a lot. Clean up the Burning Sky Tower. The Red Emperor's empire will come to this area. The Dark Abyss will come to this area. I'll bring people to the middle area and kill them. Night Sorrow looked at the map and said, divide. If we kill our way over, the Burning Sky Tower will be divided. The only variable is whether the Celestial Sect will interfere. The Shenwu Great World's martial sacred palace can be ignored. The Red Emperor said. In the recent war, the Celestial Sect destroyed 2 Heaven Master level puppets. We already know that there are 2 more Heaven Master level puppets. The remaining one is the trump card that we are afraid of. Will they use their trump card to help the Burning Sky Tower? Obviously not, so we'll definitely eat up the Burning Sky Tower. Night Sorrow spoke his thoughts. What you said makes sense. Ling Tian is such a selfish person. Naturally, he won't use the Celestial Sect's trump card to help the Burning Sky Tower. However, we still have to make some preparations. The Red Emperor said. He was still worried. He was worried that Ling Tian would go crazy and do anything. If the other party uses that trump card and we can't hold on, then we have to strategically retreat. The teleportation array of the 9 Firmament World Group has been closed. In other words, it's impossible to break in at the moment. The 9 Firmament World Group has a teleportation array that can enter the 9 Firmament World Group. The Red Emperor's empire can set up a teleportation array to the 9 Firmament World Group. At the most critical moment, we'll enter the 9 Firmament World Group and hide from the other party. Then we'll kill our way back. Night Sorrow looked at the Red Emperor and said, that's not necessary. The Red Emperor's empire has a subsidiary world. We can arrange a place to retreat. What about the Burning Sky Tower Master? The Red Emperor said. The Red Emperor's empire had a place to retreat. After listening to Night Sorrow's opinion, he could arrange it. The Burning Sky Tower Master won't negotiate. Kill him. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 1341. Release the seal? Kill. Red Emperor froze for a moment. Yes, kill. If we fight whoever wants to fight, and negotiate with whoever wants to negotiate, where will we put our face? So we will negotiate with a portion and kill the other portion, Night Sorrow said. Then we will do as you wish. How do you want to kill? Send me a message. Red Emperor nodded. Alright then. I'll inform Lord Crimson Emperor when the battle starts and when we start killing. Yi Shan stood up, cupped his hands and prepared to leave. Akatsuki, who had not spoken, sent Night Sorrow to the teleportation array, and returned to the Red Emperor Palace. Tianxan, Chiwa, do you feel the difference? Red Emperor looked at Akatsuki and Chiwa and asked. It seems that many people will give him face now, including you, father, Akatsuki said. He has the qualifications to make people give him face. His face is earned by himself. Father, Datura and Black Fiend Valley will also give him face in the future. But you can't learn from him. Red Emperor sighed. King dares to say that he wants to kill the Sky Pillar. He is probably the only one who dares to say that. Akatsuki nodded. And he is not joking. This Fentian Tower Master might be unlucky. Chiwa also sighed because the changes in the past few years were too great. Okay, the two of you prepare your men. If you want to fight, then fight. Red Emperor waved his hand at Akatsuki and Chiwa. He envied the Qing Emperor. A disciple could support the Qing Emperor's dynasty, but he also knew that there were some things that could not be envied. Night Sorrow and Summer City arrived at Dark City. They met with Datura and told him about their plans. Sure, then let's kill him. That way people will know that you're gentle and have a thunderous personality. No one will easily provoke you. Datura supported Night Sorrow. Then follow me to the 9 grand floors to rest for 2 days. We'll ask the Red Emperor to help us eliminate Burning Heaven Tower Master, Night Sorrow said. Datura naturally had no objections. After that, Night Sorrow brought Datura to Jochong Building. Night Sorrow, when do you plan to kill Burning Heaven Tower Master? Misty Rain asked. There's no need to rush. Aluo, cultivate for 2 days first, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow, is there a reason why you can reconcile with Black Fiend Valley and want to kill Burning Heaven Tower Master? Datura asked. Because Burning Heaven Tower Master is not a righteous person. He can be said to be deranged. So he must die, Night Sorrow said. At this moment, Jun Xuanji took out a piece of information and handed it to Datura. After reading it, Datura's face changed. Damn it. It wouldn't be too much even if someone like him died 1,000 times. You can't be ruthless, but when it comes to him, I must eliminate him completely, said Yishang. Let me take a look. Misty Rain took the information and glanced at it. Immediately, his face was filled with killing intent. Burning Heaven Tower Master's real name could no longer be verified. He cultivated an absolute art called the Demon Heart Fist. When the Demon Heart Fist was used, there would be a scene of ghosts crying and gods howling. It would affect one's mind. In order to cultivate this absolute art, one had to kill thousands of children under the age of 6, capture their souls, and use the resentment of these children to cultivate. Only then would there be a will of ghosts crying and gods howling to affect the opponent. This absolute art was also called the Thousand Infant Fist. I know about the Demon Heart Fist. I didn't expect his cultivation process to be so cruel. Night Sorrow, Xuanji, is this information accurate? Misty Rain asked. Yes. Originally, it was Night Sorrow who asked me to investigate Burning Heaven Tower's situation. After the spies I sent out verified this information, I didn't believe it and sent people to investigate. I even asked Uncle Xia to help me send out a secret guard to verify this information. When he killed a monarch 100 years ago, he used the Demon Heart Fist. Jun Xuanji nodded. The information had been verified by her repeatedly. It couldn't be wrong. The Demon Heart Fist is the Thousand Infant Fist. This can't be wrong. He must die. Datura's face was filled with killing intent. This was too inhumane. After preparing for a period of time, Night Sorrow informed the Red Emperor to come to 9 grand floors because they were about to start the operation. The Red Emperor brought Akatsuki and Chiwa over. Datura also summoned the 2 commanders of the Bloodthirsty Army and the Bloodthirsty Army to 9 grand floors. Night Sorrow also informed Nu Lin, Qing Lin and Qing Wan to 9 grand floors. This time we are going to kill the leader of Burning Heaven Tower. First, we will kill the Burning Heaven Tower's lord and the Burning Heaven Tower's leader. Then the army will directly charge in and kill the important people in each city. After that, we will complete our rule, Night Sorrow said. Read H novels for free for 4 days. Looking at the areas of attack, you have divided the territories. Datura said. That's right. The areas that each side is attacking and occupying are relatively close to our bases. Night Sorrow nodded. Not bad. You have arranged it well, the Red Emperor nodded. I have a request for everyone here. Although people will die in war, it is best to kill as little as possible. Just kill the important people, Night Sorrow said. Heaven Heart, Chiwa, follow Night Sorrow's instructions. The Red Emperor instructed Akatsuki and Chiwa who were standing behind him. Did the 2 of you hear that? Datura looked at his subordinates, Bloodthirsty Army and Bloodthirsty Army. Lord Ruler, please rest assured. We will carry out your orders well. Bloodthirsty Army and Bloodthirsty Army bowed. Good. Then, commanders, return to your bases and prepare for battle. We will inform you of our plans. My request is a blitzkrieg operation. We need to win this war quickly. We do not want any unexpected changes, Night Sorrow said. Following which, the commanders left and returned to their respective legions to prepare for battle. Crimson Emperor, Lord Ruler, Master's wife, I'll have to trouble the 3 of you to kill Skyburn Tower Master. You can't let him escape. If he does, he'll be a disaster, said Yishan. After emphasizing this once more, the group set off. Night Sorrow rode the Ice Qilin into battle. After killing the leader, it would be a group battle. The Ice Qilin's group battle ability and Ice Sealing Domain were very strong. After taking 2 teleportation arrays, the group arrived at the Burning Heaven Tower's base, Burning Heaven City. They then flew towards the Burning Heaven Mountain. Some of the Burning Heaven Tower members who tried to stop them were killed immediately. With 3 Heaven Masters going out to battle, who could stop them? Anyone who tried to stop them would die. He wants to run. Datura muttered. He instantly accelerated and chased in a different direction. Experts all had the ability to sense opportunities. When Datura and the others appeared at the Burning Heaven Mountain, the Burning Heaven Tower Master discovered them and immediately fled. However, Datura, who also had the ability to sense opportunities, discovered his movements. Datura was in front, Red Emperor was behind, and Misty Rain's energy wrapped around Night Sorrow began to give chase. Datura's speed was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared from Night Sorrow's sight. Misty Rain, who was carrying Night Sorrow, was slightly slower. After half a cup of tea's worth of time, the battlefield appeared in front of Night Sorrow. Datura was fighting against an old man. The old man was wearing a pair of green gloves. His fists were filled with the sounds of ghosts crying and gods howling. Damn it. It really is that kind of insidious ultimate technique, Misty Rain said through gritted teeth. Speak. Chapter 1342. But even if Burning Heaven Tower Master had a sinister secret art, it was useless. Datura's strength had completely suppressed him. Datura herself was a powerhouse among the Sky Pillar Giants. After using the Soul Cultivation Liquid and Soft Jade Tendon Pill, her strength had once again increased to another level. Burning Heaven Tower Master was at the same level as her, but his combat strength was not on the same level. So what if you cultivate a sinister secret art? I can't stop you from falling today. Die for me. Datura roared and used the Great Death Destruction Slash. Ghost God Terror. At this time Burning Heaven Tower Master roared, and countless faces appeared on his body. They were all small faces that were formed by resentment. After Datura's blade broke through Burning Heaven Tower Master's defense, the blade light cut through Burning Heaven Tower Master's protective shield and cut into his chest. With a roar, Burning Heaven Tower Master immediately retreated and ran away. However, what greeted him was Red Emperor's sword chi. Red Emperor didn't join forces to kill the enemy, and this sword chi wasn't to kill Burning Heaven Tower Master. It was to stop him and not let him run away. Otherwise it would be very troublesome for Datura to chase after him, although Datura's speed was faster than Burning Heaven Tower Master's. Red Emperor, you bastard. Burning Heaven Tower Master was so angry that he cursed. He wasn't Datura's opponent and was already injured. Red Emperor's sword was equivalent to cutting off his path of survival. Continue to curse. Red Emperor took a few steps back and replied. At this time, Datura used the Great Death Destruction Slash again. Burning Heaven Tower Master used Ghost God Terror to block Datura's hollow blade, but his chest was penetrated by the blade light. Block it again if you have the ability. Datura roared, and the Great Death Annihilation Slash shot out again. This time, Burning Heaven Tower Master was not able to block it. His forehead was opened up by Datura's hollow blade, and the Divine Sea was shattered. After receiving Burning Heaven Tower Master's storage ring, Datura frowned. The one who killed him was his true body, but he still has an avatar. There's nothing we can do about it. A crafty rabbit has 3 burrows. He has a backup plan. Night Sorrow sighed. There was nothing they could do about it. So do we fight or not? Take over the territory? Red Emperor asked. On section Q of the latest chapter, take him down. Why not? Can he take back the territory by himself? If he dares to come out, we'll kill him. Night Sorrow said as he crushed New Lin's messaging crystal. Then take him down. Red Emperor also crushed a communication crystal, which belonged to Akatsuki. Datura did the same. Senior Red Emperor, do you have a fortune teller? Divine where Burning Heaven Tower Master's avatar is and then kill him, Night Sorrow said. Your Qing Emperor Shen Daozi's divination skills are very good. Why are you looking for me? Red Emperor asked. A few days ago, Uncle Shen Daozi helped me divine another matter, so I can't do it for a while, Night Sorrow said. Alright then. This matter isn't just about you. When we return, I will find someone to divine it. However, it's strange. Why do you want to kill Burning Heaven Tower Master so much? The Crimson Emperor was a little confused. His impression of Night Sorrow was that he wasn't a person with a heavy killing intent. That bastard cultivated the Thousand Infant Fist. You know what the Thousand Infant Fist is? Do you think he should be killed? Datura waved his hollow blade, and death energy burst out. Dozens of blade auras cut Burning Heaven Tower Master's corpse and were destroyed. That was the Thousand Infant Fist? No wonder it was so evil. This is a taboo. He actually cultivated this. Damn it, he should be killed. How about this? I'll inform you when I get the results. We'll work together to kill him again. I haven't been angry for many years, but this time I can't hold it in anymore, Red Emperor said. After that, they went to Burning Heaven Mountain and Burning Heaven City. They killed all the sovereigns who resisted and looted their resources before returning to 9-story tower. Xuanji split the resources here into 3 portions and give them to Red Emperor, Ruler, and Mistress. Night Sorrow took out the resources he had seized from Burning Heaven Mountain and Burning Heaven City and threw them into the hall of 9-story tower. It was like a small mountain. Haha, you've worked hard to come up with this plan. You should get some benefits. My portion is yours. I'll go back and inform you when I have news. Red Emperor laughed and left. When he said he had news, he was referring to the results of his divination. Mistress doesn't need it, so I'll give it to you. It's not easy for you to raise such a big family. Moreover, you've spent so much effort to expand the territory of the Qing Emperor's empire. Mistress should reward you. Misty Rain smiled. She was very happy. She was happy that Night Sorrow's inner world was perfect. He hated evil as if it was his enemy, but he was also very generous and domineering. Do you think I'll take it? What's yours is mine. Take this storage ring and refine it. It might be difficult, but it shouldn't be a problem. The evil cultivation technique will be destroyed. Datura's words were even more direct and domineering. At the same time, he gave Burning Heaven Tower Master's storage ring to Night Sorrow. I don't mind having more materials. I plan to set up a defensive array for the 9-domain world. I need 1,000,000 Saint Spirit stones. This should be enough. Thank you, Mistress. Thank you, Aluo. Night Sorrow waved his arm and accepted the materials. You're such a money grubber. Why were you so generous just now? Datura said with a smile. That's 2 different things. No matter how much I need it or how much I desire it, I have to do it right. Since you're giving it to me personally, I'll naturally accept it, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Misty Rain, this fellow is eating meat, but his mouth is full of logic. Datura said with a smile after taking a sip of tea. He's accumulating wealth. Without wealth, there won't be any betrothal gifts, Misty Rain said as she looked at Dachira. You win. Dachira could not say anything else. Night Sorrow, be careful. Burning Heaven Tower Master is not completely dead. He has a clone and will take revenge. His target might be you. Misty Rain was still somewhat worried. I won't be going out for a while. If I go out, I'll use a teleportation array. Would he dare to kill his way to Qing Emperor City in 9-layer pavilion? He doesn't dare to do it now. When my master and senior brother come out of seclusion, they won't dare to do it. My master and senior brother won't be able to kill him, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Commander, you've learned how to ride on someone's coattails. What's more, your coattails are very sturdy, Jun Xuanji said with a smile. What can I do? I want to kill him, but can I? Night Sorrow said helplessly. You can do it in the future. If there's news from the Red Emperor, we'll kill him again to eliminate all future troubles, Misty Rain said. Captain Fei Xiu, inform the Empire's officials to come to 9-layer pavilion. We have to take over the territory that the army has conquered. We can't let it fall into chaos. Xuanji, inform the intelligence department to find out about the movements of the other forces. Focus on the Celestial Sect and Samsara City, Night Sorrow said. Jun Xuanji and Fei Xiu, who was standing at the entrance of the hall, went to do their work. Night Sorrow, why are you still paying attention to Samsara City? Dachira asked. After what happened last time, the Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire must know what's going on. If there's a chance for him to develop his forces, he will. I even suspect that the hidden forces belong to him, Yishang said. That's really possible. Investigate. I'll go back and investigate, Dachira said. Second update. Chapter 1343. Okay, go and check it out. Also, tell your army to kill anyone who tries to snatch the meat. We will kill pigs and let others eat the meat. This is definitely not allowed, Night Sorrow said. Don't worry, no one can do such a thing in my hands. If I find out, I will not forgive you. Dachira stood up and left the Ninechong building. Mistress, I will go and refine the ring. This guy is not dead. I will need some time to open the ring, Night Sorrow said to Misty Rain. Go ahead. Don't worry. If the problem is serious, ask your senior to come out. Misty Rain nodded. Night Sorrow entered the secret cultivation room and took out the storage ring of Burning Sky Tower Master. He then used his soul power to invade it and started to refine it. Evil Chi. The soul imprint in the storage ring was very evil and very solid. Most. New chapter. Night Sorrow controlled the crescent moon blade of the soul extinguishing slash into the storage ring and started to kill the evil soul imprint. At the same time, he released his soul power to erase Burning Sky Tower Master's soul imprint. Normally, a sovereign would not be able to do anything to the soul imprint of a heaven master. Because they were not on the same level, even a sovereign or a king would not be able to open the storage ring of a heaven master. Dachira gave Burning Sky Tower Master's storage ring to Night Sorrow because he knew that Night Sorrow had the sovereign attribute. His soul power could suppress Burning Sky Tower Master's soul imprint. Although there was suppression, it was not easy to erase the soul imprint of a heaven master. After half a month, Night Sorrow finally managed to open the storage ring. It had to be said that the leader of a top force, a heaven master, was very rich. There were more than 300,000 Saint Spirit stones. There were also a lot of materials for refining weapons and alchemy. They were all of the best quality. There were also 2 sets of books. One was the extremely evil Demon Heart Fist. Night Sorrow destroyed it. The other was a sword skill, the 9 consecutive slashes mystical skill. Night Sorrow felt that this was quite good. He would take it back and throw it into the city in the sky so that his wife and parents could cultivate it. It would also increase their strength by quite a bit. As for the Holy Spirit stones, Night Sorrow planned to use them to set up a great formation. At that time, the Dragon Tiger formation that the 3 great worlds did not have would shock the world. It would make Clear Sky City and the city in the sky impregnable. The 9 regions world was developing towards a big world. In the future there would be many outsiders. Night Sorrow could not stop or restrict the entry of others. Under such circumstances, the safety of Haotian City and the city in the sky was the most important. After leaving the cultivation room, Night Sorrow listened to Jun Xuanji's report on the current situation. The Burning Heaven Tower had already been taken down and divided between the 3 forces. The Celestial Sect didn't make any moves. Things were already set in stone. It was useless for the celestial sect to intervene. If they did, it would be a war. Compared to the Qing Emperor's empire, the Dark Abyss, and the Red Emperor's empire, the celestial sect was incomparable except for their trump cards. Even the Qing Emperor's empire was not afraid of the two giant-level puppets. Ling Tian didn't move. He knew that it was useless. He didn't want to fight to the death. The trump card of the celestial sect was the level 9 skeleton. It had the power to kill all the giant-level puppets. However, it was a skeleton after all. It didn't have intelligence. The cost of activating it was too great for the celestial sect to bear. Besides, it could only be activated once. Therefore, Ling Tian wouldn't use it unless the sect was about to be destroyed. At this moment, in the attic of the mansion of the Samsara city, the Heavenly Lord of Thunderfire was sitting on the main seat. The pale-faced Burning Heaven Tower Master was sitting on his right. Lord of Thunderfire City, as long as you help me take revenge, I, the Burning Heaven Tower Master, will follow your lead. The Burning Heaven Tower Master cupped his hands towards the Heavenly Lord of Thunderfire. The Heavenly Lord of Thunderfire didn't say anything. He was weighing the pros and cons in his mind. There are some things that I know. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come to you. The Thunder Cliff that has never interacted with any forces is under the control of the City Lord. The Burning Heaven Tower Master said. It's not that I can't help you take revenge. It's just that it's not the right time yet. Follow me. If there's a suitable opportunity, I'll seek justice for you. The Heavenly Lord of Thunderfire said. Okay. Then, City Lord, please arrange a place for me to recuperate. The Burning Heaven Tower Master stood up and said. Just do it in the mansion of the City Lord. Would they dare to kill their way into the mansion? I have the City Lord's seal. I can mobilize part of the power of the Samsara Palace. If they dare to kill us, it'll give me a reason to fight back. The Heavenly Lord of Thunderfire said. The Samsara City was the core of the Samsara world. It was also where the Samsara Palace was located. The City Lord of Samsara City was in charge of some of the affairs of the Samsara City. He was in charge of the City Lord's seal, which was a symbol of identity and status. Similarly, some of the original power of the Samsara Palace could be used in battles in the city. After arranging for the Burning Heaven Tower Master to rest, the Heavenly Lord of Thunderfire fell into deep thought. Now that the forces in the Samsara world were reshuffling, he had to make some plans. Firstly, Mandela might know about the matter between him and the Dark Lord of Heaven. If Dachura knew, then Misty Rain would know as well. If the two of them knew, it meant that the eastern district of the Samsara world would know. Therefore, he was worried that if all the giants in the eastern district of the Samsara world joined forces, he would lose his position as the City Lord. He had to be powerful. Strength represented the right to speak. This was an eternal truth. Now, the eastern district of the Samsara world was united. It could no longer be called the Eastern District of the Samsara world because the Heaven-Seizing Island in the Northern District and the Burning Heaven Tower in the Northwest had been divided by the three superpowers in the Eastern District. There were only 2 or 3 superpowers in the Samsara world that had not been affected. He felt that he had to unite with them. There was also hope because no one wanted to see a situation where the balance was lost. The Heavenly Lord of Thunderfire knew that the Celestial Sect would definitely join forces with him. So would the Black Fiend Valley. Of course, it was the Heavenly Lord of Thunderfire's idea to think that the Black Fiend Valley would be an ally. He naturally did not know about Li Tianba's thoughts. In fact, Li Tianba would provoke anyone but Night Sorrow. This was what he repeatedly told himself. After a month of peace, Dachura and the Red Emperor both arrived at the Nine Chong building. Why are you here? The Red Emperor looked at Dachura and asked. I have something to do. Aren't you here too? Dachura said. I really have something to do. Night Sorrow, you asked me to find someone to divine the matter. The result is really unimaginable. The Burning Heaven Tower Master's avatar is in the Samsara City Lord's mansion. The Heavenly Lord of Thunderfire intervened. We can't barge into the Samsara City Lord's mansion and we can't kill our way in, the Red Emperor said. He is a hypocrite. I have also found out that the Thunder Cliff that has been supporting the Heavenly Lord of Thunderfire is his superpower. The leader of the Thunder Cliff is his disciple, Dachura said. Shameless villain. What should we do? This guy is against us now. We can't touch him in the Samsara City. The Red Emperor was helpless. Why can't we touch him? Night Sorrow did not understand. Chapter 1344. Because the Castellan controls the Castellan seal of the Samsara city. Normally the seal is a symbol of status. However, the Castellan seal of the Samsara city is not only a symbol of status, but also a magic treasure. It can mobilize the energy of the Samsara palace. In other words, the Castellan seal has the power of the origin of the Samsara world, Misty Rain said. So this hypocrite can always be the Castellan? Knight Sorrow was a little dizzy because this was not good news. The Castellan is re-elected every 10 million years. The Castellan must be approved by half of the giants in the Samsara world before the Samsara palace can bestow the Castellan seal. Currently, the Castellan of the Samsara city is elected according to the rules. There was a period of time when the Castellan was fighting for the position, which led to the lack of a Castellan for a long time. Later, everyone felt that this was not the way to go, so they used the election method. However, they didn't expect Lei Hua, who became the Castellan, to be such a sinister person, Datura said. Then we have many giants here. The Qing Emperor's dynasty has 3, the Red Emperor's dynasty has 5, including you. I'll talk to the Black Fiend Valley. About 7 giants agree, Knight Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Li Tianba of the Black Fiend Valley has asked for peace with the Qing Emperor's dynasty, but he might not be on our side. Not everyone knows about Lei Hua's behavior. The Red Emperor was not very sure about Knight Sorrow's words because it was not easy to change the minds of the giants. It all depends on the effort. Is 7 enough? If not, I'll talk to other forces. Knight Sorrow felt that there was no problem with Li Tianba's side. 7 is enough. Lei Hua and Ming, Fentian Tower Master, and the General of Wind and Thunder of the Thunder Cliff make 4 people. If we count the 2 puppets of the Celestial Sect, that's only 6, Misty Rain said. Puppets count. Knight Sorrow was stunned. Forget it. Those who have the strength of a Heaven Master can forget about it. There's nothing we can do about it. Now let's see what the Sima Manor and Yuan Daotian have in mind. During the last election, the Sima Manor supported Lei Hua. However, Yuan Daotian did not participate, Datura said. How much longer do we have? Knight Sorrow asked. 1 million years, Misty Rain said. We can't wait that long. It's not good for a villain to run amok. I'll think of something. Knight Sorrow thought for a while and felt that he should talk to the origin of Samsara Palace about this. It was not out of selfishness but for the sake of the world of Samsara. No one in the main hall of the 9 stories pavilion made a sound. Everyone felt that there was no way to resolve this matter. Knight Sorrow, I'll go back first. If you need anything, just let me know. Red Emperor nodded at Knight Sorrow. Then he cupped his hands at Misty Rain and Datura before leaving the 9 stories pavilion. After that, Datura told Knight Sorrow that the current situation should be stabilized. There was no need to rush. Knight Sorrow nodded. He decided to go to the Blackfiend Valley and see what the 2 brothers in the Blackfiend Valley had to say. If Li Tianba and Li Tianhu were willing, then the situation would be easier to control with 7 Heaven Masters on the same side. After sending Datura off, Knight Sorrow took Summer City to the Blackfiend Valley through the teleportation array. When they arrived at the Blackfiend Palace, Knight Sorrow handed over his greeting card. However, when Knight Sorrow handed it over, Li Tianba appeared and brought Knight Sorrow into the Blackfiend Palace. What brings you here? Li Tianba asked after instructing someone to make tea. I'm very sorry about what happened last time. So, Knight Sorrow brought some good tea for you as an apology. Knight Sorrow took out a packet of heart-cleansing tea and placed it on the table beside him. You're too polite. That's how war is. There's nothing to apologize for. I congratulate you for taking down the Burning Sky Tower. Li Tianba cupped his hands and said. Translator, thank you Lord Valley Master. I didn't ask you to join the battle because I felt that the Blackfiend Valley had just experienced a war. Next time I'll definitely ask you to join me. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Really? Li Tianba asked. Absolutely. Knight Sorrow nodded. Alright then. Prepare the banquet, Li Tianba shouted to his subordinates. Yishang's attitude was tantamount to admitting that they were allies. Knight Sorrow smiled and didn't refuse. It was easier to talk about things while drinking. The banquet was attended by 4 people. Knight Sorrow, Summer City, Li Tianba, and Li Tianhu. Knight Sorrow, you've really screwed us over this time. Li Tianhu drank a mouthful of wine and said. We had no choice at that time. Let's screw others over in the future. Knight Sorrow stood up and raised his glass to Li Tianba and Li Tianhu. That's right. Li Tianba nodded. Actually, I'm here today because I have something to discuss with you 2 seniors. I'll leave it to you to decide. Night Sorrow felt that it was time to get down to business. Li Tianba nodded and put down his glass. Night Sorrow exhaled and told them about the current situation and the Samsara City Lord situation. He also expressed that he wanted the Thunder Fire Lord to come down. The Qing Emperor's dynasty and our alliance have 5 Heaven Masters, including the Blackfiend Valley that makes 7. We have a huge advantage. Li Tianba thought for a while and said, yes. If the future Samsara City Lord is on our side, then the Blackfiend Valley, the Qing Emperor's dynasty, the Red Emperor's empire, and the Dark Abyss will be treated the same. Night Sorrow made a promise. He couldn't let others do things without giving them benefits. I'll do it. I'll listen to you. When do I need you to send me a message? Li Tianba made the decision without hesitation. Li Tianba had already decided to ally with the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Now that he heard Night Sorrow's promise, he naturally wouldn't hesitate. Okay. I'll think of a way to stabilize things. We can't let villains rule the world. Night Sorrow said. Okay. Let's drink. Li Tianba called for more wine. After drinking, Night Sorrow returned to the Nine Chong Pagoda. Why do you reek of alcohol? Summer City, why don't you keep an eye on him? Misty Rain stared at Summer City after seeing Night Sorrow reeking of alcohol. Sister-in-law, His Highness went out for business. He drank with Li Tianba and Li Tianhu. The two of them agreed to stand on His Highness's side. They're willing to help His Highness pull down the Thunder Fire Lord. Summer City said. It's a good thing that these two brothers are enlightened. It's mainly because of trust. Night Sorrow, if you have any problems in the future, you can talk to Mistress. Don't take it all on yourself. Misty Rain said. Mistress, don't worry. I don't think Li Tianba and Li Tianba will play any tricks. Also, I don't know what these two factions are thinking. Night Sorrow said. Although Sima Manor and Li Tianba's territories aren't big, they are very strong. This is especially true for Li Tianba. Li Tianba's people roamed the world. No one knows who's from Li Tianba. They don't like conflicts in the secular world. Their attitude is more aloof, Misty Rain said. I can't connect with them. Night Sorrow sighed. Chapter 1345. It's impossible for everything to go smoothly. Take it slow. Now that we have 7 Sky Masters on our side, it's already a good situation, Misty Rain said. She felt a little apologetic. The Qing Emperor was in seclusion and she couldn't help Night Sorrow. Everything in the Qing Emperor's dynasty had to be shouldered by Night Sorrow. Mistress, you think too much. Some things are easy to do. If we work hard, it'll be fine. I'll communicate with the origin of Samsara Palace and see what he has to say, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Is it appropriate? Heavenly Monarch Yufei looked at Yi Shang in astonishment. The origin source of a large great world was extremely arrogant. Not everyone could say whatever they wanted, so it was very difficult to communicate with it. Let's try. Night Sorrow's doppelganger nodded. At this moment, Night Sorrow's original body, who was cultivating in the Spacetime Pagoda in Samsara Palace, stopped cultivating. He stood up, walked out of the Spacetime Pagoda and made a pot of tea. Before Night Sorrow could shout, the origin of Samsara Palace appeared. St. Night Sorrow took out 2 chairs and asked. Then let's try. If you have something to say, say it. The origin of Samsara Palace sat on the chair Night Sorrow took out. I'm selfish. What I want to ask you is, can we move up the date of the next Samsara City Lord election? Yi Shang asked. Not bad. It's good that you've reached this level. But so what if it's brought forward? The rule is that when more than half of the Sky Masters admit it, I will grant the governor's seal. Can you control more than half of the Sky Masters? The origin of Samsara Palace said. At least I have to try. The Samsara world is a big world. At the very least, it can't be ruled by a small person. I don't want to be the governor. A suitable person can do it, Night Sorrow said. What's the support of everything in the world? Order, rules, heavenly way order, elemental rules and human relations rules. Not to mention control, even if you can affect the order and rules, you're already a powerhouse, the origin of Samsara Palace said. I know. I shouldn't have asked. Night Sorrow nodded. Listen to what I have to say. Some cultivators can influence fate. This is an ability and you have this ability. In the future I will ask for your help. Not to mention, in terms of the rules and order of the heavenly Tao, you are a body of merit. I will consider your suggestion. The origin of the world of reincarnation nodded to Night Sorrow. My appearance in the world of reincarnation caused a lot of commotion. However, this wasn't my intention and I don't know why. Actually, I just want to do my own thing well and give the people around me peace and quiet so that I can walk the path of the strong. But now, fighting and killing has always been by my side. Night Sorrow sighed as he said this. How's the region after your expedition? Is there any order? Are there any rules? The origin of the world of samsara sniffed the tea and asked. Yes, it's already quiet and peaceful. Night Sorrow nodded. After order and rules appear, they need to be obeyed and broken. Only when the old order and rules are broken can new order and rules be replaced. The old order and rules are broken because it's no longer suitable. It's that simple. It's the same in the world of samsara. If it's not suitable, it will be broken. The origin of the world of samsara looked at Night Sorrow and said some philosophical words. I will continue to work hard. Night Sorrow nodded. I know very well about the world of samsara. Those powerful figures think that the Lord of Thunderfire is a gentleman and is suitable to be the Lord of Samsara City. They are blind. I won't stop you so you can do as you see fit. If you need to tell me in advance, I've said that in the world of samsara, I'm the sky, the earth, and also the rules. The origin of the world of samsara left behind a domineering sentence and disappeared. Night Sorrow's original body entered the pagoda of time and space to continue cultivating. Now he was at a bottleneck. His will of nothingness had reached the peak of 7-star king. One more step and he would be a star king. His will of time and space was at the middle stage of 7-star king. Ah, mistress, it's done. As long as we're ready, the election of the Lord of Samsara City can be carried out in advance. Night Sorrow's doppelganger in the Nine Chong Pagoda said with a smile. The origin of samsara is really giving you face. Try not to speak in the future. The origin of the world of samsara has its own rules. In the past, someone failed to comprehend in the samsara palace. After he came out, he said that the heavenly Tao was unfair and he was killed by lightning. This is the temper of the origin of samsara. Misty Rain said. She was worried that Night Sorrow would offend the origin of samsara. Night Sorrow nodded. In this world, there was only one's hard work or lack of opportunity. There was no such thing as the heavenly Tao being unfair. It was normal to be killed for questioning the rules of the world of samsara. If it could be carried out in advance, Night Sorrow would have to make arrangements. The unstable factors were the Sima residence and the origin Tao heaven. The origin Tao heaven didn't like worldly affairs. If it didn't help Night Sorrow, it naturally wouldn't help the Lord of Thunderfire. The main problem was the Sima residence. The Sima residence supported the Lord of Thunderfire last time. If it wasn't affected, the Sima residence would naturally support the Lord of Thunderfire. However, Night Sorrow did not have any interactions with the Sima manor. If he directly went up to them and said something, they would not care who he was. Sky Pillar Big Shot had nothing to say to the king. Night Sorrow felt that he had to wait. The support of Samsara Palace was not easy to come by. If he made a mistake, he would become a laughingstock. For Night Sorrow, he could only succeed in getting the Thunderfire Sky Lord down. Failure was not an option. Night Sorrow, what are you thinking about? Misty Rain asked when she saw Night Sorrow twirling the teacup. First edition chapter First edition. Think about what's appropriate. Didn't you say that you'll have to rely on the support of a Heaven Master powerhouse? If I can't deal with the Sima Manor and Yuan Dao Tian, then I'll have to resort to my worst strategy, Night Sorrow said. You still have a plan? I've always felt that you've been using the best strategy. Qing Yuan entered the 9 stories building. What do you know? Don't change the topic. Night Sorrow, tell me. Misty Rain said. Only a few people knew that he was going to get the Lord of Samsara City Thunderfire. Even Qing Yuan and Qing Lin did not know about it. Mistress, are we going to rely on the support of the Sky Pillar Big Shot to compete with the number of Sky Pillars? Then we'll reduce their number. Night Sorrow's eyes were filled with killing intent. Heavenly Monarch Yufei stood up because Yi Shang was bold enough. If it was possible, this was not a bad plan. Everyone is avoiding the celestial sect. Let's give it up for the time being. The Dark Lord of Heaven is a killer. Those who kill will be killed. If we can't do it, we'll get rid of him first. Xuanji, can you investigate how the General of Wind and Thunder of the Thunder Cliff works? Yi Shang said to Jun Xuanji. He didn't want to attack people who were righteous and had a righteous outlook. This was his principle as a person. Okay, just wait for the news. Jun Xuanji nodded. Mistress, I want to hand over the dynasty's intelligence system to Xuanji later, Night Sorrow said to Misty Rain. Chapter 1346. You just thought of it. When you went to Samsara Palace, Mother had already arranged it. Ji is not only the military counselor but also the head of intelligence. You know, even the princes and princesses are not qualified to get involved in the intelligence department. Blue Phoenix curled her lips and said, managing the intelligence department requires ability. Do you have that ability? How dare you say this? Your father said it well. You can do whatever you want with ability. How many years have you been the commander? What achievements have you made? What about your junior brother? Look at the Azure the Arch-Empire when your junior brother was the commander of the Azure the Arch-Empire. Heavenly Monarch Yufei glared at her daughter. I'm just lamenting. I don't mean anything else. Now in the world of Samsara, if the Qing Emperor's dynasty dares to claim to be the second power, no one dares to claim to be the first, Blue Phoenix said. This is because senior brother broke through and master's wife returned, Night Sorrow said. Of course it has something to do with this. But it's undeniable that you opened up the situation. When father was inconvenient, the Qing Emperor's dynasty could do without anyone but you. When you were there, Celestial Sect didn't declare war. When you went to Samsara Palace they started a war. This is the best proof. Blue Phoenix really admired Night Sorrow now. Senior sister, you're exaggerating, Night Sorrow said. Not at all. Hailing and I talked about it. You've killed monarch-level opponents in Heaven and Earth Pavilion. Senior sister is a monarch, but she didn't say she could kill a monarch. But you, the 7-star king, did it? This is something other cultivators can't do, Blue Phoenix said. Night Sorrow smiled. He didn't deny this. He was also satisfied with himself. Night Sorrow, you're right. Xuanji will investigate first. Night Sorrow, you should also take a rest. You're tired after all this work. Misty Rain felt that Night Sorrow's life was too fast, which was not good for development. I should spend more time with my family. I've been busy and neglected them. Night Sorrow felt guilty when it came to his family. After making his decision, Night Sorrow left the 9 grand floors and went to 7 Night City. At this time 7 Night City was very prosperous. Night Sorrow arrived at Qin Shen's tea house. It's rare to see you. Night Sorrow, do you dare to stay with your sworn brother for 2 days? Qin Shen was very happy to see Night Sorrow. Sure, I'll accompany you for 2 days, Night Sorrow said with a smile. He could feel that Qin Shen was looking forward to his answer. Wife, the dishes are ready. Night Sorrow is going to stay with us for 2 days. Qin Shen called his wife. Sister-in-law, there's no need to trouble yourself. Just make yourself at home. Night Sorrow greeted her with a smile. Evening. Night Sorrow and Qin Shen were chatting on the 2nd floor of the tea house, watching people coming and going on the street outside. Update: our new fastest on F. The last time we drank at night was in Zhiyuan village. So many years have passed and the world has changed. Qin Shen was still a little emotional. Sworn brother, I'm sorry for what happened back then. Night Sorrow poured a cup of wine for Qin Shen. 2 brothers in a lifetime. You have many brothers in your world, but you're the only one in my world. You didn't do anything wrong. You gave me repentance and gave me the chance to stand in this world again. So I should thank you. Qin Shen said. Drink well and don't mention the past. Aren't the days now very good? Qin Shen's wife brought over 2 dishes and said. Yes, Chia City's current status in the Tianxian world is very high. No force dares to provoke it. High-level cultivators have to behave themselves when they come to Chia City because this is Night Sorrow's Chia City. The name of the city lord is Night Sorrow, Qin Shen said. The development of the 9 regions world is the bitterness of our generation, but also the fortune of our generation. Sworn brother, I know you don't have any big dreams. You just want to be a good tea house owner. I support you. Now go to Haoyin City, choose a good location and buy a piece of land. In the future, you'll be the first tea house owner in the 9 regions world. Night Sorrow said with a smile. He knew Qin Shen's dream. Yes, the great world? You mean the 9 regions world? Qin Shen grasped the key point in Night Sorrow's words. Yes, in the future the 9 regions world will surpass any world of the 9 clouds world and become a world like the Great Reincarnation world and the Black-Yellow Great World. So now you have to seize the opportunity. If you miss it, you may not be able to afford the land in Haoyin City in the future. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Ah, then find the best place to buy a large piece of land. I'll open a tea house and help you open a restaurant. You don't know the difference between enjoying a tea house at home and a restaurant, Qin Shen said. Listen to you, sworn brother. Do whatever you want. Night Sorrow nodded. Night Sorrow is a man of great things. Why are you dragging him into a restaurant? Do you think he's like you? Whether he does business or not, he's the biggest boss in the 9 regions world. Qin Shen's wife glared at Qin Shen. Sister-in-law, you're joking. In fact, I'm very grateful to you because you gave Sworn Brother a peaceful attitude. If I hadn't met you, Sworn Brother wouldn't have been in such a situation. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Yes, for so many years, I've never dared to say a harsh word to my family's leader. Qin Shen also nodded. Night Sorrow smiled. He felt that this was very good. A man was prestigious outside, but at home he had to keep a low profile. It was tiring for a man to work hard outside, but it was equally tiring to have a woman at home to take care of things. After accompanying Qin Shen for 2 days, Night Sorrow returned to the city in the sky to accompany his family and watch his children cultivate. On the 3rd day after Night Sorrow returned, there was good news. Wu Lingfei entered the king's realm and became the king of life. The 3rd king of the 9 regions world was born. The 2nd king was Zhu Juyun. This was a good thing worth celebrating. Night Sorrow held a celebratory banquet in the city in the sky. Night Sorrow lived a stable life in the city in the sky. On the 3rd year after Night Sorrow returned to the city in the sky, Yi Qianhua successfully entered the king's realm and became the 4th king of the 9 regions world. At this time, Night Sorrow's will of nothingness, which had been cultivating in the Samsara Palace for 60 years, broke through again and entered the Star King's realm. His will of time and space was also at the peak of the 7 Stars King's realm. He could enter the Star King's realm at any time. Night Sorrow also found another problem. The 7th talent bloodline energy point, which could not be activated for many years, was becoming more and more loose. Now it was releasing the power of will. When it was completely activated, the will of time and space would be greatly improved. Night Sorrow cultivated in the pagoda of time and space for 60 years, which cost him 100 years of cultivation in the Samsara Palace. Because he had 3 kinds of will, he needed 3 times the time. On Night Sorrow's day when he was sailing on the lake, Sandalwood came. Sandalwood came out for a few days. She had completely refined the 3 drops of soul cultivation liquid and the soft jade muscle and bone pill. Her strength had greatly improved. In Sandalwood's words, whoever dared to provoke the Qing Emperor's dynasty would be killed. The 2nd update. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.